Okay. So we'll start with the Tamil Thai Valtu. Everyone please stand up. Yeah.
Now, welcome speech by Secretary Pugal Anbu.
Good morning, everyone. Can you all hear me?
Yes, we can hear you, Pugal.
Thank you, Mr. Jyoti Parisamy. Tamil Mandram has been doing the workshop for artificial intelligence and data engineering for many years. And this year also, we are very delighted and very happy and very proud to present this particular workshop to all the students. And I welcome all the students for this. And it's been partnered, Tamil Mandram has been partnering with the Deep Spear, a company located in Silicon Valley. And Deep Spear has been founded by Mr. Jyoti Parisamy and Mr. Ram Ramasamy. Both of them have been ardent supporters of Tamil Mandram, and I welcome both of them. And Mr. Ram Ramasamy, also our platinum sponsor for many years. I welcome him. And Mr. Scott Coffin, who is an industry expert in this field, and he is going to give a guest speech. I welcome Mr. Scott Coffin for this program, and I welcome all the students from all over United States. It's been a great number of students waiting for to learn a thing, one or two from Mr. Jyoti Parisamy. And I welcome Student Council Youth Lead, Mr. Ramesh, Kausal Ramesh, and he's also been supported by few student organizers, Mr. Akhil Kanagaraj, Mr. Akash Tyagarajan, Mr. Jayesh Suraj Kaliswaran, Mr. Sivaji Ganeshan, Mr. Satya Pugal, and Mr. Vishnu Titarapan. I welcome all of them, and I welcome the EC members and Tamil Mandram members for this great program. It's going to be 2-day workshop after the speeches by EC members, and there will be a guest speech by Mr. Coffin, and Mr. Parisamy will take over and walk us through about all the artificial intelligence and data engineering program. Thank you so much, and I will give my mic to Shubha.
Thank you, Pugal. Now the President's speech by Meena Sundar.
Vanakkam anevarukkum. So good morning all. On this Saturday morning, it's very early for many of us, but it is very nice to see all the kids log in on time. Most of them are in now. And Mr. Scott, thank you very much. On a very early morning, we had requested for you an appointment and you had greatly accepted it. And we also thank Mr. Jyoti Parisamy. As our Secretary Pugal told, he has been associated with us and have helped our kids, youth of Tamil Mandram community to do great workshops during 2018. And I would appreciate Ramesh Kuppusamy, and it was happened in Daya's period when he was president, and it was a great hit. They were not able to accommodate, it was overflowing, so they had to do some Zoom sessions as well. So that is the thing that attracted, and Jyoti did a very great job there. And immediately when we were okay, we said okay for this current year, the response was huge, and we did not know how to, we were thinking like, are we going to exceed some remit capacity? And Mr. Jyoti Perisamy was great enough to say that he could accommodate, and he could train the youth volunteers from Tamil Mandram to, ask questions or anything, to be guiding. So all these panelists in youth would be helping all the kids who have questions. So if you have any questions at all, you can put your questions in the Q&A. So yeah, let me not take too much of my time. Thank you very much all for attending today's workshop. It's going to be a day long, and then tomorrow also it's going to be a day long session, but definitely I'm very much sure that Mr. Jyoti Perisamy is going to be giving a wonderful session, which is not even, it's going to be enjoyable. Welcome kids. Thank you everyone. Thank you everyone.
Thank you, Meena. So now let me introduce Mr. Jyoti. Good morning all. I would like to introduce our distinguished instructor and coach for the AI workshop, Mr. Jyoti Perisamy. Mr. Jyoti is co-founder and chief AI architect at DeepSpear Inc. in Palo Alto. And he is also a head of artificial intelligence, Expedify Harvard Innovation Lab, Boston, as well as artificial intelligence learning facilitator at MIT. He is a Stanford alumni with 17 plus years of management consulting and AI experience with 3 big consulting companies, Deloitte, EY, and KPMG. It is a great opportunity for all the kids to have such a distinguished instructor for this AI program. With this, I welcome to this program, Mr. Jyoti Perisamy. Thank you all. Mr. Jyoti?
Yes, ma'am. Can you hear me all?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Absolutely.
So,
Yeah. Can you all hear me now?
Yes, Jyoti, we can hear you.
Okay. It's my absolute pleasure and honor to be here. Like Meena was talking, I believe this is our 3rd attempt. It's been very great and successful, and we felt like, this adds a lot of ones. My camera is not working actually. Like I was just trying to figure out, it's not working. I can start my camera as well. So it's been great experience to working with kids and parents and the Tamil Mandram. So I truly enjoyed. I'm really looking forward to the session. So we have a lot of things to talk, learn, and collaborate. Right? So knowledge is the power. I would simply say that can take you anywhere. You can look at the people who came from India, who's doing, like example, you take like, Google CEO, Mr. Sundar Pichai. So what was brought him here? Knowledge, right? For all of us, what brought us here in this great country? Knowledge. So I would say knowledge is the power. So let's focus on gaining knowledge. Let's focus on being entrepreneurial in this space, whatever we can do. So I'm really excited. I'm looking forward to conduct the 2-day session with all your help and support. Once again, I thanks for the Bay Area Tamil Mandram, the organizer, the event coordinator, the youth committee, everyone who's involved in this one. Thank you so much. And we do have the youth team members going to talk about a few things to get started, then followed by Mr. Scott Coffin. So he's going to speak about his industry experience on AI. So there's a lot to learn here. So I'm just going to give it back to the youth committee. They're going to start the students getting engaged, and then try to do their own things. Okay. So I will start the session after Mr. Scott's done. So that's going to be around 10:30. So we can have more interactive session. So let me give it back to the youth Bay Area Tamil Mandram Youth Committee. So let them take some time to introduce themselves and talk to the students and set the goals and objective and set the guidelines, set the learning process. Okay? So let them take care. Thank you so much once again.
thank you, Jyoti. Thank you, Jyoti. Now Kaushal will talk. He is the youth coordinator. Kaushal?
Hello, everyone, panelists and attendees alike. So before we start what we had planned for our session today, I would like to thank a few people. First, I would like to thank Mr. Jyoti Periyasamy and the SF BATM committee for making all this possible. And most importantly, I'd like to thank all the attendees out here today who have decided to join the event to make this possible too. So what we're planning to do as a youth committee is, like you guys, we don't know too much about AI either. So we did some research and we have prepared a couple simple basic questions about AI to teach you guys more about AI. So me and my team are going to run through these questions just to teach you guys a little bit more about AI. So first of all, I understand that not many of you guys know what AI is. So what is AI? I'll give you guys a few seconds to think. So AI stands for artificial intelligence. And basically it's when the machines start to do things that humans can and activities that human intelligence requires, such as speech recognition and language translation. This is only a rough definition, but I'm pretty sure you guys will learn more as the class continues. Our second question, what are the differences between machine learning, deep learning, and AI? Machine learning is a subset of AI. It is a concept of feeding a large amount of data to a machine in order for the computer system to perform tasks. Once again, this is just a rough definition of what it is. But like I said, as the class goes on, you guys will learn more. So on a similar topic, deep learning is a subset of machine learning, achieving the same tasks as machine learning using neural networks. And neural networks are just an array of networks that are like the human brain. My final question before I pass it on is a simple one. When was AI invented? Well, it was invented in 1955, much earlier than most of you guys think probably.
Okay. So like the next question that you guys might be thinking is, if AI was invented in 1955, why is it gaining so much traction now? AI is gaining traction now for many reasons. Even though it's not a recent field, inventions that are recent that increase computing power, such as the GPU, enabled AI's potential to skyrocket, leading to the invention of more algorithms as well as faster algorithms. The next question that you might be thinking is, where does AI stand now? As of now, there are 3 speculative stages in AI, and we haven't reached the other 2 yet. The one that we are at right now is artificial narrow intelligence. Artificial narrow intelligence is when a computing device can perform a single purpose-driven task extremely well, such as, say, chess. But the other ones, such as artificial general intelligence, where a computing device can do any task at the same level as a human, and artificial superintelligence, a computing device that can do anything better than humans. We have not reached those stages yet. Finally, you might be thinking, who is Alan Turing? Alan Turing was the father of AI. He invented some of the first AIs.
Okay, so you guys might be asking, well, I mean, a lot of you guys use Python anyways, but so why do we use Python for AI? So there are a plethora of languages out there like Java, C, and C++, but the main reason why, or the main reasons why we use Python is because it's very convenient, because it doesn't allow one to actually code the algorithms from scratch, because there are already like lots of libraries that exist for these algorithms, so you don't have to like go crazy. And another thing is Python syntax is very similar to that of English. It's very interpretable and easy to understand, and the AI libraries are very easily configurable for development. Let's see. So there, a popular test that was, I think that's still being used currently, is the Turing test. Now this was developed by Alan Turing, and the Turing test checks whether a machine is on par with the thinking or exceeds that of a human being. So as Vishnu said before, we have not surpassed artificial general intelligence. according to most sources. And therefore, currently I don't think any machine has confirmed to have passed the Turing test. And the Turing test, Alan Turing actually predicted that most machines would pass the Turing test with flying colors by the year 2000. But I guess that hasn't happened. So in a way, that's a good thing, because that just proves that there's a lot more potential to be, opened by the new generation. Yeah. Oh, okay. One more thing. So what are some examples of AI products? We have, here are some examples of like sophisticated ones, like of the virtual assistants like Alexa and Siri for narrow-minded AI. And another example is Google Translate, which is like a concoction of AI, and it uses natural language processing and deep learning neural networks.
So another question that might come into your mind is, where does AI stand right now? As of now, there are 3 speculative stages in AI, and we have not reached the other 2. Artificial neural intelligence. This is a computing device that can perform a single purpose-driven task extremely well. And this is a stage we have reached. Artificial general intelligence. A computing device can perform any intellectual task on par with the human. And then finally, artificial superintelligence. A computing device that's thought process and constructive thinking surpasses human intellect. And another question that might come across your mind is, what is NLP? NLP is natural language processing. It's a branch of artificial intelligence and a subset of linguistics that has to do with reading and deciphering human language into valuable data interpretable by humans. And maybe another fun fact is, what are some breakthroughs with AI throughout history? In 1997, a chess AI beat world chess champion Garry Kasparov. And in 2011, an AI won Jeopardy! In 2012, a machine was developed that could recognize cats in pictures. And finally, in 2018, self-driving cars became public. Taxi service became like a system of self-driving cars with humans that are to monitor the behavior of a car for now.
Questions that may come to your mind are, what are some subjects that are needed to understand how AI works? And in order to understand AI's breakthroughs, one would need to know discrete mathematics and calculus. And Python enables one to use pre-built algorithms easily so that all is required. And another question that may come to your mind is, can AI be used proactively in the medical field? And actually, AI has been used to predict ICU transfers and sorry about that, and even surgeries. And what are some problems that AI can solve? Well, AI can solve a multitude of problems, as well as invent new concepts such as mathematical theories, and it's been used in like movies and films. So the possibilities are endless. Thank you.
So that question is, what problems do AIs create? So according to Tesla CEO Elon Musk and astronomer Stephen Hawking, they predict that reaching the point of artificial superintelligence will result in the demise of human beings. So based on the last 2 questions, are AIs worth it? So So scientists say yes, but they don't wish to go beyond the concept of artificial narrow intelligence. However, fear of technology can also cause a stagnation in technological development. So what are niche areas in which one can use AI? So they can use it in customer service, manufacturing, and education, which are currently unconventional fields. And people would use AI for, but there's still like a demand for it.
What is data mining? Data mining is developing patterns from large sets of data to many different areas, and that's what data mining is. What is pruning? Pruning is cutting undesirable solutions that an AI might think is appropriate. So if an AI thinks that we must do this and you don't want it to do it, you can prune it so it doesn't do that anymore. How well can you do in today's AI field? The future of AI is not necessarily programming, but now it's more focused on math. Having developed a good foundation of math and algorithms could allow one to excel in the AI field. Do fictional movies pose as a possible reality for AI in the future? Many fictional movies talk about how AI will control the world, but there have been many books as well as famous intellectuals who have an idea that predict AI will actually result in the demise of the world.
So thank you guys for listening. These are our questions that we made, just some basic questions. You guys can think about this through the event. So we have finished our segment now, and we are going to turn it over to Mr. Scott Coffin.
It's 5 minutes early, and I believe Mr. Scott is scheduled to speak at 10 o'clock. Let me check with him. Mr. Scott, are you okay to start now, or do you need some more time? I'm sure he may be busy. So I just want to ask a question to the kids. Like, hello, Mr. Scott, can you hear us?
I can hear you. I'm ready whenever you are, Jyoti. Go ahead and finish what you were going to ask there, and I'll jump in after.
No, wonderful, wonderful. Always great to see you. So I just want to ask the kids, like, so there's a lot of intellectual question. Okay, I was really blown away. And so the level of depth they went on into figuring out the type of artificial intelligence someone could build. And there are some great thoughts around data mining. And there are some good discussions around some of the examples, how it's applied in healthcare, like, So these are all awesome, amazing to see the commitment, the seriousness that the kids put forward to learn this subject, right? I really appreciate that. Okay, so what we really want to do, because it's a virtual class, I know it's going to make it a little difficult for us to learn. Okay, what we used to be sitting in a class and learning this one. So we want to make it more interactive. So when I say more interactive, there will be a lot of time for you all to speak. So don't think only these 7 participants are just speaking. So you as a participant will have an opportunity to come forward and speak about it. Okay, so I will bring that to the context. So I just wanted to make sure you all prepare well. So be prepared to speak, be prepared to answer any questions we may have come across in the session. Okay. So thanks again for the youth volunteers and youth leader. So we really appreciate the time. We really appreciate the encouragement. We really appreciate your effort to put forward to get these questions structured. It's well thought through. Thank you once again. Mr. Scott, back to you if you're ready.
Thank you, Jyoti. And thank you for the opportunity to be here with all of you.
Sure. Let me introduce Mr. Scott, okay? So Ramesh or someone can bring the slide that I sent it to you.
Yes, I'm bringing it.
Sure.
And Jyoti, I sent you the revised and final slides just a few minutes ago. So if you can put that presentation up, that would be great. And if someone can provide me with the ability to advance the screens, that would be wonderful.
Sure. I will try to do that, and then I'll also forward to the
Yeah, I think.
So
Are you able to see
Ramesh,
the screen?
yeah, Ramesh, I'm actually sending another slide that came from Mr. Scott. So put that in the slide mode and then give him the control so that he can advance the slides.
Yeah, sure.
All right. So Ramesh, check your email. I send you the slides.
Okay.
Okay. We can see your screen, Ramesh.
Yep.
Ramesh, we can see your Gmail.
Okay.
Okay, no problem. So you may have to use a different laptop or something to get the slides.
Okay.
All right. Let me introduce Mr. Scott. Good morning, all. Once again, very warm welcome to you all. And thank you so much for taking some time to come and attend this one. I know it's Saturday and Sunday, correct? Like, so this tells how serious you are and learn from great speakers like Mr. Scott. So let me introduce Mr. Scott, okay? So Scott and I known almost last, I would say 15 years. He was my boss at Blue Shield. I worked for him at a Blue Shield. So since then, I've been very inspired by his knowledge, his expertise, and the way he grown his career. So currently, Mr. Scott serves as a CEO, Chief Executive Officer for Alameda Alliance for Health. It's a public health program. So he manages the program. And I believe if I understood correctly, it's about a 1.5 billion worth of program, correct? So he manages the program in all aspects, strategic aspects, operational aspects, technology, financials. So he manages everything. So it's my absolute privilege and honor to welcome Mr. Scott to speak about his view on artificial intelligence in healthcare. Mr. Scott worked for Blue Shield of California, San Joaquin Health Plan. There are many other plan Anthem. So he well known, and he is also an advisor for the government. Okay, he met with the governor's office, met the governors as well. So he has been in industry quite a while, and he has done a lot of work in the space of healthcare. It's always good to hear from industry side how industry thinks or how industry feels about using artificial intelligence on their day-to-day jobs, correct? So Mr. Scott is going to walk us through how he's thinking or he may be using in the future, or he has seen how AI is used in healthcare. The role of artificial intelligence in healthcare. So healthcare, as we all know, one of the key area that industry is considering using artificial intelligence, especially in the COVID-19 situation, we are limited with a lot of resources. Okay, so either supply or physicians or RNs. So like this, there's a lot of challenges around using these resources. So how artificial intelligence could help situations like COVID-19. So how we could use these kind of intelligence to overcome the challenges that what we are going through at this point. So, okay. So with that said, it's my, again, absolute honor and privilege to welcome Mr. Scott for this event. And we are all going to learn from him. Once again, thank you, Mr. Scott. Taking some time to come and talk to us. Appreciate your time. Back to you, Mr. Scott.
Great, thank you, Mr. Jyoti. I really appreciate the opportunity, and I appreciate all of you that are here today to learn. I heard something, and I took some notes earlier that about knowledge being power, and I also added on that data is powerful, and so hopefully we can talk here today, learn a few things together. I will, should I share my screen, Jyoti, or how should I put the presentation?
I will check with Ramesh. Ramesh, would it be okay for make Mr. Scott as a presenter so that he can control the slides by himself?
Yeah, I can do that. I download the slide. Okay, I'll make it.
Sure. So Mr. Scott, I think it's good you can take control and present this,
Okay.
So in that way, you can wait for a slide or you can speak, like whatever you.
Okay, I'll wait to get control of that.
Start video.
Scott, I made you as a co-host.
Okay, can you do that?
Co-host, you should be able to.
Can I share my screen?
Yeah.
Try that. Okay, there, now it's working.
Yeah,
Okay.
thank you.
just went away. Here we go. Okay. All right. I'll try this again.
Yeah, we can see the slides, Scott.
Can you see the slides? Okay.
Yeah, we can do that.
Go ahead and put it up here. So can you see the first slide and hear me okay?
Yes.
Okay, great. Okay, I'm going to jump right into what it is I'm going to talk about. This is my agenda. And first of all, before I get started on the introduction, I just want to say I hope that you and your families are well. This is a difficult time I think we're all living in, and it's very impressive to see this many youth here that are pursuing knowledge and just wish you well and your families well. As Jyoti mentioned, my role is to work for the Alameda Alliance for Health. We are a nonprofit managed care health plan, and what that means is we administer physical health and mental health for about 265,000 residents in Alameda County. And Alameda County is located near San Francisco. We are in the East Bay, which is across the harbor from the West Bay, which West Bay is San Francisco. And so Alameda County has about 1.6 million people that live there. It is one of the most diverse counties nationwide. We have about 45 languages spoken in Alameda County. And for those that speak more than one language, if you could speak 45 languages, please call me, because I want to talk to you about working at the Alliance, because we serve so many people and one of our goals has been to connect with these individuals that choose our plan. We serve Medi-Cal. So Medi-Cal is California's product that's used for Medicaid, and that's for serving those that are underserved, those that are in the area of poverty, or they could be disabled. And so we have a wide array of people that choose our plan, but 82% of those enrolled in Medi-Cal elect to stay with the Alliance. And there's a reason, and I'm going to share a few reasons why here. We've put over the years significant investments into data analytics, predictive modeling, and forms of artificial intelligence that we've developed and deployed and used today. And I'm going to show you some examples of things that we've done. Now, if you have questions along the way, Jyoti or Ramesh, is it okay if the students ask on the group chat, or do we want to save that for the end?
They can ask in the group chat, Mr. Scott. That's fine. So we can make it interactive. We don't have to wait for it, towards the end. So as when question arises, please feel free to answer any question. And student also can say, I can teach more what I know, but Mr. Scott is right now running a large organization. So learning from him and how does this work in the real world? Because as a concept, you can learn from YouTube and everywhere. Please feel free to ask any question. Thank you so much, Mr. Scott.
Okay. All right. Thank you. So a few facts about healthcare today. We all know from what we read, what we see on the internet, who are talking to friends and family about the impact of the coronavirus and the impact of this public health crisis. It's why all of us are meeting remotely today versus being in a classroom together. And so I think this is an awesome demonstration of how we as a culture work around these types of issues. But this is a very serious issue that's happening right now. There's surge planning is happening in hospitals where they're preparing for more people to visit the hospital because they are sick. And so surge planning is about creating more capacity, more beds in hospitals, more beds in the emergency rooms, and more testing too. The COVID testing that is happening, more sites are appearing nationwide to test for this virus. Contact tracing is a form of data analytics. It is It also has artificial intelligence built into it. And contact tracing is when someone is identified as positive, what happens is you're asked a series of questions of who have you been in contact with, and that tracing backwards is what helps the healthcare professionals to test additional people to identify where and to what extent the virus may have spread. And then the last is isolation strategies, and that's really around when you are not feeling well, you become isolated, and you go into what's called a quarantine period. And so in each of the counties in California, as well as in every state has taken actions around addressing these 4 areas of surge planning, testing, contact tracing, and isolation. And if you look around in your community, you'll see evidence of this. Tents are up, at health centers. They're doing testing outside. There's drive-through testing. So this is what's happening right now in the pandemic, and it's going to continue for some time. Some forecast through 2021. So this is something that we're learning to live with, as well as fight through vaccines and other research. And I want to remind you all, please wear your masks. The masks are working, and there's data that supports that. 329 million people live in the USA. We have 139 million emergency room visits every year, 884 million outpatient visits. So that's when you go to see your primary care physician for a wellness checkup, or maybe you're not feeling well and you go to an urgent care or primary care, or you go to see a specialist, someone that specializes in parts of the body. Could be a foot, could be a hand, could be your eye. That the specialist visits, there's almost 1 billion visits for outpatient services, 36 million inpatient admissions. This is when you go to the hospital and they admit you into the hospital and you're in an acute bed, which is a bed inside that hospital. You could be in the ICU, and if you're a child, you could be in the neonatal ICU, the NICU. So this is 36 million patient admissions and 129 million outpatient procedures. This could be surgeries, minor surgeries that to fix maybe a bone that is not set right, or it could be another type of cosmetic surgery, those types of surgeries. So I'm sharing with you the numbers because the number of access points into our health system is not in the hundreds or thousands, but it's in the millions, and it's continuing to grow. Our outpatient surgeries, and this is where you go in for a surgery and you're released that same day. You go home right after the surgery. Some of you may have had your wisdom teeth removed. That's an example of an outpatient procedure where you go in, you have your teeth removed, and then you go back home. That level of surgery has increased 300% over the last 10 years, and it's continuing to grow. And what's also growing are costs. I can't count this high, but if I could, I would attempt to forecast where this is going. But $3.8 trillion right now is spent on health-related services just in the USA. So if you take that level of spending and you compare it worldwide, you would see, that we are moving up to a triple-digit spending rate on in the trillions on health services globally. Now, on average, 1% of people result in about 20% of the healthcare expenses. And what this means is not everybody accesses healthcare services. And there are some that access more healthcare services than others. And we spend at the Alliance of the revenues that we receive every year, we spend about $850 million for 265,000 members, but 5% of that population, 13,000 of the 265,000, use about 80% of those medical expenses, and they're called high utilizers. And I share this information because this is how we've used artificial intelligence, is to help us as clinical and administrative administrators help people in accessing the right level of care at the right time. You know, what we face is that emergency rooms get used as primary care clinics. And that is where if you don't, you know, you have to schedule an appointment to go see your doctor. And sometimes that appointment is 2 weeks out. So what sometimes people do is they will say, well, I'm going to go use the emergency room because I can get help right now, when they could have called and scheduled for a routine visit. There are some people who use the hospital inpatient as a primary care as well. And so what happens is we get a surge of people using the system more than they should. And also they could be coordinating with their physicians more. And part of what we do as a managed care health plan is we help people to administer their appointments and make sure that they're going to see their doctor and other caregivers as needed. We also arrange for home-based care as well. So in terms of people that cannot go out, but they want to stay in their home, we arrange for home health services. But the problem we're trying to solve right now is this math equation, and that is 5% equals 80%. Again, back to the numbers I showed you. 13,000 members equals $615 million of medical expense. And the goal is to get us to a ratio of 5% of that membership, and it equals 50% of the medical expense. And that's the national average. So one of the things that we've done over the last 5 years is, and Mr. Jyoti has been a part of this experience, and I want to say that you have one of the best teachers that I know in this field to teach you over the next 2 days, because the numbers that we have achieved have been through a strategic approach, and it's a two-phased approach. And the first phase, which we've rolled out and has taken us 5 years to attain, is that back in 2014 we were the third lowest performing health plan in the state of California. And using AI technologies, we improved the quality of care that we were delivering by focusing in on retrieving all the healthcare data that we could find for purposes of putting together the story about how is healthcare quality in Alameda County. And as you can see on the left, we're at 41%. And I know personally from taking tests in my past, I did not like receiving 41% as my grade. I don't think anybody does. And on the far right side is where we've moved to. And we just finished in healthcare, quality is measured in the previous year. So in 2021, we will measure for the calendar year 2020. And I'm anticipating that blue bar for 2020 is going to be much lower because of the pandemic, because what happened is people stopped going to their doctors when they needed to. They went in for emergencies, but they didn't go in for elective procedures like checkups that you would normally go into. But this is an example of what you can do with data. So we have a two-phased approach. Phase one is to retrieve the health data. And then phase two, which we've embarked on in 2018, and we're now scaling this program up, is intervening with people. And what an intervention is when someone connects with you and says, hey, we need to get you in for your appointment, let us help you. And we connect you to your doctor or you to your caregiver. And if you're dealing with a chronic situation, where you have asthma, that's a common chronic challenge that people have. Whether you're a young adult, a child, or a fully grown adult, you need help in navigating the health system. And that's what we're using AI to do. And that's what an intervention is when someone steps in to help you. So here's a list, and a copy of this presentation will be given to everybody through this course that you're going through. But this is a list of all the different diseases and conditions that we treat on a common basis. And there are more, but this is the most common. When you think about hypertension, so high blood pressure, that's on the upper right there. Or you think about cancer, and cancer is a terrible disease, and it drives a lot of not only death, but it drives a lot of change in a person's life when they fight cancer, and then when they are in remission. So when they pass through that period where the cancer is active, they still have to learn how to change their life. They change their diet, they change the way they think, they change the way they take care of themselves, down to sleep and all these other things. That's what I mean by interventions, is when you help somebody change their patterns of life. So why do people seek healthcare? These are the main reasons here why. 40% are for a chronic disease. Again, back to that list I just shared. If you have a chronic disease that you're dealing with, you may be visiting the doctors more. Preventive care is what you should do every so often, and depending on what age you are, in the first 2 years of life is probably the time when you see the doctor the most. And as you get older, you also go back to seeing the doctor the most. And in between those periods of being 4 or 5 years old and being in your 60s and 70s, there's a period of time where you go in annually and maybe you go in a couple times a year. But if you have a chronic disease, you'll probably go in and visit the doctor more often. There's a small percent that's related to pre and post surgery, so before and after surgery. And then if you get hurt in an accident or you're injured in some way, and then new health problems that come up. So these are common reasons why people seek healthcare. And the services that they receive, here's a breakdown of the exams and screening. So when you go in and get an examination from your doctor, that data is put into a system, as well as lab data. So if you have, if somebody takes if a clinician takes your blood for testing, that's a lab. Procedures would be any type of procedure to fix or repair anything that's broken or not working right. Diagnostic imaging, that's if you go into an X-ray machine or an MRI. It's digitalized images of your body. And then lastly, health education and counseling. So these are services that are often ordered during a medical visit. All of this, by the way, is data that we collect and we use in our artificial intelligence framework at the Alliance in order to reach out to people and help them. And then lastly, on mental health, types of mental health visits, 55% are to a psychiatrist, 32% to a primary care physician, and 13% to a specialist. So a specialist would be somebody that specializes in a certain part of mental health that maybe you need help with, or someone you know. Most of the time, though, you would seek mental health support through a psychiatrist. So there's a convergence going on. There's a convergence that is going on with, let's see, there we go, with AI and healthcare. And one is through administrative services, setting your appointments. How do we use AI to set appointments? We have software that's developed, and most of the time right now, people just want to call in and receive an appointment through the phone. What we've done is we've moved that to online services, and we connect that in with our doctor's offices so that we can do scheduling faster. When you are checked into a hospital, admitted, or when you're discharged from a hospital, released to go home, there's data that's generated there too. AI is being used for robotic treatments, such as targeted therapy. An example of that is where they can put a device inside your body and actually target the treatment. An example would be for cancer, where they can target that treatment at the tissue level, wherever they need to concentrate it. Sometimes they do it from the outside, sometimes they do it from the inside of your body. Robotic surgeries, these robotics in surgeries has not fully been adopted right now, partially because people don't understand, nor do they trust the experience that they're going through. They prefer to have a doctor's hands versus having a machine. But it is being adopted more. It's just taking more time. But robotic surgeries are used when better levels of precision are needed. And I know myself, I've had surgeries, minor surgeries in the past, and I always look at the doctor's hands to make sure they're not shaking. Because if they're shaking, that's not a doctor I really want to go to, especially if they have a knife. So again, robotic surgeries are for better precision. The libraries of symptoms to diagnose and treat, this is an area that we've exploited and really focused on, and that is really getting to understand, and this is where artificial intelligence has really expanded a lot over the last 5 years, and that is a library of symptoms to diagnose and treat. So having this library, and it's almost in that realm of machine learning where you use computers to capture this data and to help you identify opportunities to take action. And the action that we're doing is population health. Population health is that intervention I mentioned earlier. If you are not feeling well, and we can find data that helps us to notify you, and you, when you call, and we find and do an early detection, for example, in cancer, if you can identify cancer early, your chance of success to beat cancer, to eliminate it completely, or to continue living is much higher. And I'll tell you, each day counts. So we're using data to help us identify and use it for early detection. And then lastly, managing diseases and conditions, because while many people, lose the battle to cancer as an example, there are also many people who beat cancer and live, but they have to change their life. They have to change the way they live. If they have a tough time breathing because maybe of smoking or some other reason that their lungs aren't working right, people can continue to live very productive lives, but they have to learn how to do it differently. And so that's what we help them do. So looking forward, the population of the USA is projected to grow. And we've seen this continuously over each year, over each decade. Earlier, I mentioned 329 million as of today, approximately. By 2030, 342 million. Earlier, I mentioned about 3.8 trillion, I think, on healthcare. And in the future, $6 trillion is going to be spent on healthcare. And that's by 2028. Outpatient procedures are going up, and we see that 3 million people die each year from diseases and conditions, but many more people live and need help in that living to live a better life, and that's where AI can help. An exciting part too, and I think that for all of you that are exploring artificial intelligence, is that $6 billion in artificial intelligence revenues is forecasted in the next 2 years. That's just in healthcare. The opportunity to develop solutions in the healthcare field using AI is really does not have any limitations to it. But knowing that much money is being spent, it may be something of an interest for individuals to focus their development work and build solutions. And what we've been building is a tool that helps us do predictive modeling. It doesn't predict the future. It just helps us to identify the symptoms that a person has and the past that they've experienced in terms of, do they have a disease or a condition that they're battling, and how can we help them? And our job is to help people live a better life. And so what we're doing is we're creating resources for physicians and caregivers and equipping them with more knowledge, going back to where we started the day, is knowledge is power. And it's impressive to see how artificial intelligence has grown since 1955. We're using the machine learning coupled with predictive modeling to connect with people and help them live a better life. And that's through software, and that's through a number of other solutions, but it's really looking at the data and making sure that we have a clear understanding, because as I mentioned earlier, the knowledge is power, but data is powerful. And when we use that data right, we can accomplish some great things together. So I'm going to stop there and ask if there are any questions. Again, many thanks to you all for having me here today and sharing.
Thank you, Mr. Scott. I think there's a lot of questions. I would like the youth organizer Kaushal. Can you bring the participant live and ask them the question, make them to ask the question, Kaushal?
Sure. So if you're an attendee and you have any questions you want to ask, please raise your hand and I'll move you to the panelist section.
Question, there are some questions. Can you read those questions from the Q&A box, chat box?
Oh, here we go.
Can you see me?
Yes, I see you.
Okay. My question was, I was wondering if in the future or even now, if there was a way for AI to help provide a cure for for diseases such as like cancer and like diabetes based on previous information that they have gathered and also previous diagnoses that have happened in the healthcare industry.
Yeah, that is a great question. You know, the way that we're using AI right now is to help us identify those people, those individuals that are in the early stages of a disease, and maybe they don't know. You know, maybe they don't know that they have it, or they've been diagnosed, and now they need to move quickly into a treatment or remediation or remedy pattern there. And so what we use AI to do is to help identify from a data perspective, but there are tools that are being developed in the healthcare field to actually to do cures. And curing is a field within AI, I think, that is still evolving. And, you know, today we use more traditional medicines and even some holistic remedies to cure. And so, you know, but I haven't seen in the realm of AI where it's actually cured that type of disease, but I'm hopeful it will in the future. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
I have a quick question. So how is AI used for early diagnosis of a disease?
Early detection is really about every day, every week that you can obtain ahead of when you would normally find out, you know, that you have, for example, cancer. Cancer starts to evolve in the body, and sometimes it's very rapid, but many times it takes months for it to develop. And so when you go in for your routine visits, there's data that's obtained from that visit, such as lab work. You know, maybe your blood is drawn for a test. And so using that data, sometimes doctors look at very specific parts of your blood work, but AI looks at everything and could put together a picture, maybe a different picture than what the doctor or the clinical person that's reviewing your lab could do. And so in that case, that's where it helps us put together, you know, if you've had an emergency room visit and you've also had blood work done at your doctor's office, we can take that data and use it to analyze, and the software through the programming that we've done looks at all the different parameters and then it sends a notification that says, we need to get this person in for a full checkup. And that's where you are referred into a specialist for that type of work.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi, Mr. Scott. So I had a question. So as as a person who's working in the healthcare field, how do you see AI in the future? Like, do you see it as there will always be a partial reliance on? Okay, so right now I don't think there's any full-on robot surgeries, right? There's always human assistance, right, with doctors.
Yeah, in a majority of cases, there is someone that's driving. You know, there are different types of robotic systems too. There are some, if you can envision a glove going on your hand, that actually takes what the doctor would do if he was in person, he or she was in person, and replicates those actions through a robotic device. And they're doing this remotely, so the doctor could be in Los Angeles, but the patient is in New York. And so there's that type of robotic solution. And then there's those that are controlled at the site where the surgery is being performed, but there's very few that are happening independent of a human right now. Very similar to the Google car, that drives by itself. There may not be a person in that car, but there's somebody that has programmed it. That's more of an independent, robotic solution than there is in healthcare today. So most systems have a human behind it.
Yeah, so what I'm saying is, in hindsight or in the future, do you see surgeries being fully automated or procedures being fully automated? And if so, would there be a need for doctors at that point, if you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's a really good, thoughtful question. I think the part that I think we need to answer is, would people be comfortable with that? Because most of the products that we find in our market today that we can acquire are done so through consumer demand. And right now there's not enough trust to have a robot completely do everything without having some type of human intervention behind it. And so it may be not in my lifetime, but it may be in yours that that you see this, where there's a completely independent, of a human, a robotic surgery, but the adoption has not been there yet for that. There are certain procedures though that happen today, like LASIK procedure, which has been around a long time, which that's a very sensitive procedure. It slices part of the cornea. It creates an incision in your eye, and actually the robot is more precise than the human is. And I would rather have that. Personally, I would rather have that procedure done by a robot than I would a human. But I still want to have that human driving the machine. And so, that part, the demand is still there for doctors to be involved. And I do think doctors are still going to have a very significant role in the health system, even with the addition of full robotic procedures happening.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Scott. Mr. Scott, I know you have to leave at 10:30.
Yeah.
How much more time do you have? If it is not, that's fine.
I have a few more minutes. I can wait. I want to make sure the questions get answered.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you so much, Mr. Scott. Can you bring the next participant, please?
Wait, Mr. Scott, so could you use AI to theoretically figure out how a pathogen works based on similar pathogens that were affecting people in the past to find a cure for the pathogen?
Yes, that's a great question. Yes, and I think and that's an area where there's tremendous opportunity for development to occur. There's much research happening right now in order to use that past to help with predicting the future. And you see it today if you look at some of the testing that's happening with the 123andMe and these other services that allow you to take your DNA and give to them, and they use that data to tell you about your past. But what's even more exciting is when that data gets used to help you predict for the future. And maybe it's one of those situations where you can take proactive steps to avoid even getting into that particular disease or condition. Excellent question. I think you're going to be a developer in this area based on that question.
Thank you.
Okay, can you bring the next participant, please?
So especially during this time, wouldn't like having AI that could work by itself be like necessary because of like costs going down? Like we wouldn't have to like pay as much.
Yeah, you know, if we could increase the confidence in some of these AI solutions for doing procedures, it goes back to a point I shared earlier around consumer demand, and that is, would you be comfortable in, you know, going to a service where there wasn't a doctor or a nurse, but there was a machine there that would treat you? And at the last Deep Sphere conference that I was able to attend and share, I asked the question, who would actually allow a robot to treat them? And there were no hands raised. And I found that interesting because it goes back to trust. And if you and I trust that solution that's there, and what I'm seeing right now is the better level of trust is when you have an AI solution and you have a doctor standing next to it or a nurse standing next to it, and they say, yeah, this is what we're going to do, and here are the parts that the machine's going to do, and here's the part that I'm going to do. There's a higher level of trust right now. In the future, though, it may be different. It may be that we fully put our trust in that device alone. And at that point, yeah, the costs would and very well could go, down significantly. But it goes back to consumer demand, and I think for a while now it is going to require that there's a doctor standing next to the AI solution, or at least involved. Thank you.
All right, any other questions?
I have a question. I have a question too, so I'll go after.
Sure, who's this?
Namrata Kyati Kadali.
Hi, Amrita, how are you?
I'm good, how are you?
I'm doing okay, thanks for asking. So go ahead, please.
How is AI used in contact tracing during this pandemic?
Well, I'll quickly explain contact tracing again, and that is when when a person goes in for testing and they're identified as positive, for some of the first questions that are asked are, who have you been in contact with in the last 24 hours, 48 hours, and it goes beyond that in terms of questioning. That data is put into a central repository, a central place where that data gets shared with other data in the system where other testing is occurring. So if you think of it on a statewide basis, there's one repository that has all the statewide data. And what they do through the artificial intelligence software is it looks at all the intersections of contact. So you and I and others are connected, and through the testing, we've identified who we've been in contact with. And then there are other linkages to positive tests. And then there's also linkages to those that are not positive yet, but need to be connected and brought in for examination. And so that's where the contact tracing is used on a statewide basis to find out who's been in contact with whom, and then get them in for a test if they haven't been tested. And the idea is that, the outcome is that we're moving toward is if you're positive, we want to make sure that you're isolated. And so you can go through the 2 weeks or 3 weeks or however long it takes to recover. Then you can go back into the community once your doctor says you're okay. But if you continue, through contact tracing, if you're identified but you don't go in for examination, you could give that virus to somebody else, and it just continues from there. And that's what we're seeing right now with all the numbers, why the numbers are increasing. Contact tracing, though, is highly human intensive as well. Use the data to identify the linkages between people, who's talked to whom or who's been in. I had a friend 2 weeks ago that went out to dinner with 5 other people. So 6 people at the table. 5 of those 6 contracted the virus. The 6th person was asymptomatic. They did not show any signs, but they had the virus. That one person gave everybody at the table the virus. So now they all went into contact tracing. Now they're figuring out, how many people have been in contact with these individuals. So again, that's how it's used today. Thank you.
Thank you.
Sebastian,
All right, this is the last question. So if anybody else have any questions, please ask. And then the rest of the questions, I will try my best. I'm not a medical expert, but I'll try my best actually. Mr. Scott has to go. Let's take this as the last question.
Okay.
So you explained how the AI was like used to figure out what diseases are which. How does the AI know exactly which diseases are which if the symptoms are the same for two diseases?
Well, fortunately, there is a significant amount of clinical research data that is programmed into the software that allows for much faster analytics to occur, faster than a person, or a doctor with many years of experience could do. And I'm not implying that the AI is smarter than the doctor, because I do believe the software that's been developed up to this point is informed by doctors. But we take all of that research around the symptoms and we put that into the system, and the system quickly assesses over and over and looks at all the different pieces of data that a doctor might not be able to look at, such as lab work, what's happening in your blood system, or it could be looking at other parts of the healthcare that you have been accessing that the doctor may not be aware of, where tests have been done. Again, exams and screenings are information that's relative to diagnosing. And that's why when you go in to see your doctor, a lot of times, they check, in your throat, they look in your eyes, they look in your ears, they're asking you questions, because that's diagnostic data that can be used. So the AI software puts it all together so much faster than a person could, and brings that data in one place and says, okay, these are the areas that we're finding that you should test for. And then that information is given back to the doctor to perform those tests. Good question.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, Mr. Scott, it's been such a wonderful session. A lot of insights, a lot of data, a lot of practical view. Correct? It absolutely helped, including me, everyone, to understand the depth of healthcare need for artificial intelligence. Thank you so much. We truly appreciate. On behalf of the Bay Area Tamil Mantram, I want to thank you for your time and giving this deep insights on how healthcare operates, both from strategic and operational perspective, and how AI could improve the way of healthcare delivery system, financial systems, and etc. Once again, thank you so much, Scott. Have a wonderful weekend. Talk to you soon. Take care.
Thank you, Mr. Jyoti. And hey, I want to send out an invitation to the students here, because I know that this is an introductory course on artificial intelligence, but as you move forward in your careers, and if AI is an area that you focus in on, and you look into the healthcare world to develop solutions, I am someone that you want to talk to, because I have some ideas on development that I'm pursuing, and we need more people involved in the development of AI solutions. And so keep going with your education and your knowledge, and we may be talking down the road. So thanks again. Have a good weekend.
Thank you very much, Scott, for your time and Saturday morning. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Scott. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So let's just work our brief session, and then we'll start the session.
Ramesh, your voice is not clear.
Okay, let's we'll take over from here for the brief session. Okay.
All right, Ramesh, thank you. I think we can understand. Still, your voice is not clear, kind of cracking. So we will take over from here. Thank you. Can someone make me as a presenter?
Yeah.
All right. I am sharing my screen. Can you all see my screen?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So I will try to fix my camera. I know you can see me. I apologize for that. It could be good reasons, could be bad reasons. I don't know what happened. Since yesterday it just happened and I was trying to fix I couldn't figure this out. I will work on it maybe in the lunch break. If it is not tomorrow, definitely I'll make sure actually I have something to communicate very effectively. All right, so I wanted to start with, like, as I said, knowledge is the power that can take you anywhere. Okay, so that can take you anywhere. It doesn't matter what you have, what you don't have. Your financials can come and go. Your political influence can come and go. Your interpersonal relationship with someone can come and go. The only thing that is going to stay with you until we all die is knowledge. And that can take you wherever you want to go, wherever you want to go. So we are in a world where knowledge becomes extremely vital, and it empowers our life in all aspects. So I would encourage, use the 2 days, learn something unique and innovative. Position yourself either for a college admission or for an employment opportunity or for an entrepreneurial, okay? So position yourself to go into the space, okay? It doesn't matter what you want it to be in the future, whether you want to be a scientist or an engineer or a doctor or whatever the field it is, okay? In all fields, you will see artificial intelligence. You will see all the things that what you're going to talk and study, okay? So I would encourage, use the 2 days time, learn as much as you can, okay? One thing I can tell you, there is a lot of information out there. Yes, we can use them, we can learn them, but most of the information that what I have seen, it is not well structured. So what happens when you start learning, you will lose focus. You don't know what the heck going on here. You don't know where you are heading towards. So this is very structured approach. So please learn as much as you can. And I want to make this session is very interactive. And I wanted to make sure actually, each one of you able to understand what is being taught in the class. Okay. So with that said, let's move on. So we wanted to focus 2 days. It's a 2-day event. And the actual event is scheduled from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. We also have a group project that's basically between 4 and 5. The youth team will take over. They will work with you. They will organize projects. And I will give you guidelines. I will give you all other details which is required. So you can focus on it so that we can discuss. So 4 to 5, we will have projects. And that project is more for applying what you learn in the class and also think about how this is going to be in the future, correct? So one is an applicability, second, creativity and thinking power, okay? So those are the key focus for the projects. You don't have to really do the project, but at least you can understand, you can come up with ideas and thoughts, etc. And I want to see that, okay? I want to see this. So it's a 2-day event. It's from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. And 4 to 5, we will have a group project that's going to be led by the youth team. So they will take care, Kaushal will take lead, and he's going to work with you all. Okay, so I want to start from the company that I represent, DeepSphere. So we are a small startup company. We are not big, but we have great vision, and we are working towards building an AI platform for 2 aspects. One is data science, other one is for education. So in the education, so we want to focus on a personalized learning, which is an intelligent LMS. Okay, what it means? So in a class of, if we have 100 students, not all 100 are learning at the same level. There are different level of learning, different type of learning, and different speed of learning. Their learning abilities are different. So how do we customize the learning based on the learner's learning ability? Someone may learn fast, someone may learn slow, someone may learn very quick, etc. So one of the focus for us to building an LMS platform, we actually built the platform, we launched it, and some of the places that people are using this one. So that is one focus for us. So it's an intelligent LMS, enables personalized learning based on the learner's learning ability, the learner's learning speed. Okay, so that is one product. And the second product that we are focused on, data science, which is very deep competency on extracting hidden insights on data. That's another platform. So that's our second focus. Okay, and let's move on. Our team is combination of many people. So most of the people are here in the US and some are back in India. So our team is some from Harvard PhDs, Stanford, Illinois, MIT, and people also worked in Ernst & Young, KPMG, Deloitte. So that's the team we have. And in terms of our focus, our primary focus is artificial intelligence. In artificial intelligence, what are we focusing on? An intelligent automation and a digital transformation, data science, advanced analytics, and predictive modeling. Okay? So those are the things that we are doing right now. And it's about me. So I think most of you know, I don't have to spend time on this one. Let's move on. And this is our day one agenda. So very much we are done up to Mr. Scott. So now I'm taking over. So I'm going to focus on some basics. Then we'll take a 15 minutes break. Then we're going to focus on how does it work in the real world industry. Then we take a lunch break. Then we'll come back. I'm going to talk about the machine learning concept, then show how it is applied in a real world example. Then I'll hand over to the youth team to take over for the projects. Okay, so we will have enough time. So we don't have to really sit down and go through this one. Okay, so we will basically work with everyone and understand how things are going and making sure actually so it's been well thought through. Okay, all right. So I'm going to skip this again. I want to make sure you understand the session is going to be very interactive. What it means, I will ask questions and I will make sure actually you have enough time to think through, answer questions. Okay, it's going to be very interactive. Okay, so there are two focus when you want to study artificial intelligence. Okay, one is going towards more an academic side. Okay, going deeper into mathematics, statistics, probability, etc., and start building models. Okay, creating classifiers. So that is one focus. So that means what? You will be more like applying whatever you studied in mathematics, physics, like linear algebra, and some of those concepts around metrics. So you apply all of them and create algorithms. So that is one focus. That's an academic side. Okay, so I'm not here to teach on academic side. I'm sure you're all great students. You have great teachers. They will teach you that part. So I'm going to focus more on industry side. Okay, I'm going to focus more on industry side. So when I say industry, how it's applied in industry and what are the real world use cases. And in terms of applying this in industry, where do we start? How do we go? What do I need? Correct? So that's more of the framework. And what are the technologies? When people say artificial intelligence, correct? What is involved in the whole big picture? Correct? We also need to understand. So that is my focus. So I'm focused more on industry, not really on the academic side. Okay, but it doesn't mean that I can answer any question. As I said, you have a great teacher in your school, in your institution, wherever you're studying, they can help you. But let us focus on real world application. How does it work in a practical usage? How does it impact in our day-to-day life? And what is the future is going to look like, etc. Understand that part. All right. So with that said, let's move on. What's our key takeaway? By end of this 2 days, okay? By end of this 2 days, I'm not saying that I'm going to make you an artificial intelligence scientist or an engineer or a developer or a subject matter expert. But one thing I'm confident, you can understand the terminology. You can understand the basic framework. You can understand the big picture of how it works in real world. Second, if you are serious, okay, if you want to set your future towards this space, it would be in a great platform for you to choose what you want to do in your life and future. Okay, so that is basically a stepping stone for your higher studies or an employment opportunity or more towards research and innovation. Okay, I want to do a lot of research and innovation. As I said, knowledge is the power. The more knowledge you'll have, the better, power you gain. The better power you gain, that will take you anywhere. That will take you anywhere. Okay? So I can describe many things that I have seen in my life. There are people whom I never thought, whom I never thought I'm going to meet. Okay? I met those people. I went to Prime Minister's office. I educated them, right? So 2 weeks I was at the Prime Minister's office, Prime Minister's office, okay? And I educated them on a digital transformation, educated them on artificial intelligence public services, okay? Which I never thought in my life, okay? Which I never thought in my life. It happened, that's because the knowledge that I was carrying on artificial intelligence, okay? The knowledge that I was carrying on artificial intelligence. So knowledge is the power. You may not become a subject matter expert from day one, or an engineer, or an architect, or a developer, or a programmer, but it's just a stepping stone. Understand the big picture, set your goal, set your objective, work towards it, you will get it, you will get it, okay? So that's our key takeaway, okay? So at the end of the day, what I want you to understand, how does it apply in real business processes? Some of you are asking questions to Mr. Scott, okay? So for those questions, you will have an answer. Second, what is a framework? Where do we start? How do we go? What should I do? So that's a kind of framework. Third, practical skills. As I said, if you go to Google, correct, you will have so many information, so many materials, so many things to understand artificial intelligence. But you will get confused. You don't know what's going on. You don't know where to go, correct? So, but having practical view on certain things would really help. On-the-job learning skills. If you are going to take a role as an artificial intelligence developer, okay, what is that you will be expected to do and how do you do it, okay? That's the on-the-job learning skills. The last one, even though you are going to focus on artificial intelligence, the data engineering, okay, which plays a very dominant role. If you look at what Mr. Scott was talking, he kept on repeating data. I told knowledge is the power. He said that data is the most powerful. Data is the most powerful, okay? So data engineering, it's become quite vital in order for us to do any work on artificial intelligence, okay? So we are going to touch this one. So the key takeaway, understand how artificial intelligence applied in a real world business processes or in our real world life. Second, what is the framework artificial intelligence operates? That means where it starts, what it does, how it goes, where it ends. And third, how do I apply on the job? And fourth, what is the supporting skills or tools or technology I need to learn? That is focused on data engineering. So that is basically what we are going to do, a key takeaway. So it's going to be a very interactive session now. I want you to think through this, okay? I want you to think through this and answer a question. So Kaushal, can you make sure people are able to come forward and answer these questions? So I'll give you 1 minute, okay? So speaking, reading, writing, cooking, sandwich making, driving a car, driving a truck, hairdressing, disease diagnosis, okay? I could add more, correct? So I'm just trying to find out, okay? I'm trying to find out what is your understanding on all these things. What do you think, correct? I'm sure since you are a student, you are reading, you are writing, you are speaking. You may not be cooking, but I'm sure you have watched your moms or dads are cooking. And in some cases, you may be making sandwich by yourself or your mom or dad is making sandwich for you. You may not be driving car, or some cases may be driving car, depends on what age you are in. But you may have seen your dad or mom are driving car, okay? Like you've been to a hairdressing place, okay, to cut your hair, and you have seen to a doctor's office, okay? So these are the things what you have seen in your life, okay? I want you to understand, okay? I want you to understand and answer my question. Tell me what is your understanding about all the things. Anyone, please. Kaushal. So can you bring the participant? Please raise your hands and we will put you on the spot so that you can answer your question. Kaushal, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. No one's just raising their hand right now.
Come on. What happened? Then if you don't raise your hands, then I have to pick someone. Okay. So let me know which way you want to go. So I need some response from you participants. Tell me what is your understanding on these things. Okay, I have 3 participants raised their hands. Let's just bring them on. Let's bring them on. So like I said, it's going to be very interactive. It's going to be very interactive. So let's bring them on and make them in the camera to see so that we can understand.
Okay.
Okay then. So for speaking, reading, and writing, my understanding of those things is.
So sorry to interrupt you. Can you tell your name and what grade you are in, and tell me why are you in this boot camp?
My name's Vishnu. I was in 8th grade. I'm going to 9th grade in a week.
Okay.
And I joined this boot camp because I heard about AI and I was interested because I didn't really know anything that much about AI. I just knew that it's like making a human, but
sure.
It's in the computer.
Okay.
So I joined because I wanted to learn more, and I feel like I've learned more already.
Awesome. All right, let's go for it. Like, what is your understanding about all the things that what you're reading here, seeing here?
So for speaking, reading, and writing, I learned how to do I learned how to do all those things at a very young age.
Sure.
And then they're important. I understand that they're important things that everyone should know because they help you in understanding other things as well.
Sure.
And
sure.
For example, cooking and sandwich making.
Sure.
I understand how to make a sandwich because sometimes when my parents can't make food, they ask me just make a sandwich and eat it for yourself.
Sure.
And sometimes I even cook on my own.
Oh my God.
Because really basic stuff.
What do you cook? What do you cook?
Instant noodles.
Okay.
And just microwave food kind of. And sometimes on Boy Scout stuff and stuff. I cook actual food.
So how did you learn these things? Did someone taught you?
Someone just showed me how to do it, and then they helped me out, and they did it with me once a bit, and then they made me do it on my own.
Okay.
A little.
Okay, it's very good. What do you call all these things? What do you call all these things? There is a common terminology or a name for all these things.
Trial and error. You try it at first, and the first time I tried making a sandwich, it didn't really go well. I was 4 and I got jam and stuff everywhere. But then the second time and the third time I started doing it better.
Okay,
then,
that's great. That's a learning pattern, correct? The first time you didn't make it perfect, you did make some mistake. The second time it was okay. Third time, excellent, correct? So you trial and error. I got all of those things. So I'm just trying to get a name for this one. For all the things what we are listing here, there's a name for it, correct? So do you know what it is? No worries, that's fine. But you did really well. You did really well. I like the way you spoke, and I like the way you articulated. I made mistakes, I learned it. I made mistake, I learned it. That's awesome. Thank you so much. Let's bring the next participant.
Thank you.
Hello. Hello, is it? I can talk.
Yes, you can talk. Tell your name and what grade you are in. Why are you here?
My name is Srivatsan. I just graduated out of 12th grade. I'm going to be an undergraduate at college, and so
So what college you are going?
I'm going to UC Davis.
Nice. Okay. I live very close to UC Davis.
Oh, that's
so we'll get to meet each other.
Yeah. That would be amazing. Yeah. I joined this boot camp because they were talking about AI, and over some of my high school years, I had to do research projects, and I was really interested in the topic of AI and data science, and I was interested in that, and I've also learned a lot from this boot camp.
Sure. Awesome. Let's move on. So all the things what you're seeing here, there's a name to it. Okay, there's a name to it. So I'm just trying to get to the name. If you know, that's fine. If it's not, no issues. We will discuss this one. So what do you call all these things?
Well, for speaking, reading, and writing, all the way to 4, I would call them like a daily routine. But like
Sure.
the specific name, I'm not sure, because all of these seem like human activities. Or
Excellent. That's the word I was looking for. Human activity, correct? Human activity, correct?
Yeah.
So what do you call that in more specific? You're almost there. You're almost there.
One second, human activity or routine.
That's fine. That's fine. No, you said right. It's a human routine task. Like, you may do you may do something. If you're a doctor, you do disease diagnosis. If you're a hairdresser, you do hairdressing, correct? If you're a cooker, you cook, correct? If you're a sandwich maker, you make sandwiches. And if you're a driver, you drive this one, correct? So all the things what you said, absolutely correct, no question. There is a specific term to this one, but you are partially told human, correct? I'm looking for the next part. Thank you. Next participant, please.
Hello.
Yes, sir. Who is this?
Oh, my name's Mega.
Oh, Mega, I'm sorry. Okay, so how are you doing?
I'm good.
What are you up to?
I'm going to 9th grade, and I decided to join this boot camp because I don't know much about AI, and I was curious and I wanted to learn something during the summer.
Okay.
When I saw this list,
okay,
the first word that popped up was human control, because these are all things that humans are able to do, and they're the only ones that are not only ones, but they're the type of people that could complete these types of tasks.
Excellent, excellent, excellent. So all the points what you said, absolutely valid. Actually, there's a specific name that I'm looking for. You told partially human control. I like the word human. The next part is what I'm looking for. Any thoughts?
I don't have anything else to say.
No problem, no problem. It's a great attempt. Thank you, thank you. So last participant, and then I will move on. Like, can you bring the next participant, Kaushal?
Hi.
Yes, boss. Can you tell your name and what grade you are in and why are you here?
Yeah, my name is Akil. I'm actually from Chicago, coming a long way.
Oh my God. Do you travel?
Chicago, yeah.
Oh my God. Okay.
And I'm going to be a sophomore next year.
Okay.
This year, actually. And the reason I joined this camp was I actually know a decent amount about AI. And like my dad has an AI company actually about like reading insurance policies with AI.
Okay.
So I kind of wanted to like learn more about it. Like I know some stuff, like basic stuff, but I wanted to learn more about it. And I thought this camp was a great opportunity.
Awesome. We appreciate your interest and we appreciate your commitment of coming down all the way to Chicago. That's really tells us like, how serious you are. Okay, wonderful. So can you tell us what's your understanding about this and what is the specific norms or term that we use for this particular, like, terminologies?
Like these are all tasks.
Sure. So that's for sure. That's for sure. Right?
And so, number one, you need for anything, like for all the tasks, number one is a necessity.
Okay.
Like number one, you can't do the other things without number one.
Sure. Awesome. Thank you so much. Like, so let's just move on. The name that I was looking for, human intelligence. Okay. So these are all intelligence you gain over a period of time. Okay. If someone asks me to cook a biryani, do you think I can cook? No. Why? I never took a training. Okay. I don't know how to cook biryani. Okay. I never took a training. If someone asks me to speak Spanish, do you think I can speak? No, I can't. Why? I never took a training. Right? I'm not trained to become a Spanish speaking person. Can I do hairdressing? No, I can't. Why? I have been not trained this one. So see the word training, why it is important. Okay, let's understand. Can I do disease diagnosis? What Mr. Scott was talking about, cancer treatment, behavioral pattern, correct? How does it affect patient has been behaving, correct? So all these tasks, you all said well, you all told many things, which is very insightful. I really appreciate that. But the actual terminology, these are the tasks typically a human performs, typically, okay? And these tasks are nothing but human intelligence, okay? Human intelligence. How does the human get its intelligence? Through a formal or an informal training. So the term that what I was referring or what I was looking from you, it's the human intelligence. You can see human intelligence. So the next point, this is also I wanted to think about it. and answer me question. Is this artificial intelligence? Point one, someone need to answer. What do you see in front of you? Okay, I want to know what is this all about. Second, is this artificial intelligence? So this is also something that people are thinking about it, and people are talking about it, and I'm sure you have seen in movies, or I'm sure you have seen in some, like, Google search or web page, wherever it is, okay, or in your school. So question number one, what is this? Question number two, is this artificial intelligence? Okay, let's bring 2-3 participants. So someone, like, we want to give a chance for everybody. Okay, like I said, the session is going to be very interactive. Okay, you all will get to speak. You all will get to talk about it. Okay, so let's bring someone who's not answered before. So Kaushal.
Yes.
Yeah, there are 2 questions. What is this? Second, is this artificial intelligence? So we have 4 participants. Yeah, bring anyone, whoever you like. Who's your best friend? Yes, yes, sir. So tell your name and what grade you are in and why are you here before you attempt.
My name is Sabish and I'm going to 8th grade, and I'm here because I really wanted to learn about AI because I know nothing about it, and I want to learn new things over the summer and during this pandemic because I have nothing else to do. And so I think this is like a robot that...
Okay, excellent, excellent. You answered very well. Excellent. So is this artificial intelligence?
Yes, I think this is artificial intelligence.
What makes you think? I'm saying no. I'm saying this is not artificial intelligence. And what makes you think it's artificial intelligence? I know you are learning. Don't worry. Okay, I'm just challenging you. I'm just challenging you.
I thought it was artificial intelligence because it's basically using like kind of like a human brain and trying to use it like that.
Okay. So how do you know it acts like a human brain? How do you know that?
Because it kind of looks like it's like talking or moving.
So just by looking at the image, you are thinking that it looks like a human, so it could do anything a human does.
Not all like that. But
So let's say an example. Let's take an example. We talked about, like, cooking, sandwich making, hairdressing. Do you think this will do?
It's possible, but
exactly,
no.
It is possible. It is possible. So do you think it's artificial intelligence at this point?
Not right now, but if I
exactly. Thank you very much. We have to give chance for other participants. Let's bring somebody else. 2 more participants.
Hello.
Yes, boss. How are you doing?
Hi, I'm doing good. My name
Where
is
are you
Dave.
from?
I'm from Menominee Falls.
Okay.
Wisconsin.
Okay. Oh, Wisconsin. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Amazing. So tell me a little bit about yourself. So what grade you are in? Why are you here? And answer those 2 questions.
My name is Devdarshan, and I'm going to 9th grade. And I'm in this class because I'm really interested in artificial intelligence, and I don't really know anything about it. So I came here to learn.
Okay, great. We will make you learn. Don't worry.
Yeah. So I mean, I'm pretty sure these are robots.
Okay.
And I'm not sure if it's artificial intelligence yet because,
okay.
I mean, if it's programmed to, it can probably do things that humans can't do.
I like the word you said, programmed. That's the key. I like the word programmed. That's the key. That's the message. Because people think these are artificial intelligence, correct? People think these are artificial intelligence. It could be true. It could be false. Okay. Let's figure that out. Wonderful. Thank you. Let's bring the next participants.
Hello.
Yes, boss. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I am doing okay. Thanks for asking. So what are you up to?
So my name's Moran. I came for this boot camp because I, just like everyone else, I don't know a lot about AI, but I want to learn a little bit more.
Okay.
So what I see on my screen are just humanoid robots. They're not artificial intelligence because they're human programmed. They're programmed by humans, but they can't take in intelligence of their own. They can't analyze patterns on their own and create their own code.
Excellent.
Compared to like what Google's doing. Compared to what Google's doing, this is nothing. So we can say this as human created intelligence, but we can't classify it as actual artificial intelligence. We can classify this as AI or just intelligence level 1 or 2.
Okay.
Instead of like intelligence level 5 compared to like what Google said.
Okay, wonderful. Well said. Thank you. Let's move on. Okay. So the point what I wanted to make you understand, what you are seeing in front of you, it's a robot. Okay. Is this artificial intelligence? We can't answer the question until we see what it's doing. Okay. So when we say artificial intelligence, it has to self-learn. It has to self-learn. It cannot be programmed. It cannot be instruction driven. It cannot be instruction driven. So most cases, what you see, things like this are instruction driven. So what it means, so when you are going to a banking center, there is a robot welcomes you. Hey, welcome, John. How are you doing? I'm doing great. What do you want to do here? I want to make a deposit. So those instructions are programmatically controlled. That may not be an artificial intelligence. And intelligence occurs without any further instruction. It's like a human, okay? It's like a human. So I just want you to understand these two key things. What is human intelligence? Okay, it is important. And things that what you see in the market space, don't get confused, okay? Looking at the robots, looking at the chatbots, okay? Don't get confused. So this may or may not be artificial intelligence until we see what it's doing, okay? Until we see what it's doing. All right, let's move on. So this is another question I wanted to get an answer from you. I'm sure you all understand what's happening here, okay? I'm sure you all understand what's happening here. So there's all the things what we are talking, there is a connection which I'm going to connect, okay? All the things what we are talking. So I'm going to connect everything together. So can someone answer this question? Who's this person? What is he doing? And what are the students are doing here? Can anyone tell, please? Okay, so bring some lower graders. Okay, this is not for like higher graders, like someone in the lower grades. So bring them and make them answer this question. Okay, so what I'm asking for, based on the picture, who's this person and what is he doing and what the students are doing here? Can anyone tell, please? Just 2 participants.
Hi.
Yes, sir. Tell your name and what grade you are in and why are you here so that others can get to see.
My name is Vipin. I'm going to 8th grade.
Okay.
And I'm here because this is an artificial intelligence class and I'm interested in that.
Okay.
So this person here is a teacher.
Okay.
And
excellent. Excellent.
And she's basically holding a basket of like markers.
Okay.
And I think she's giving them out. Or
okay. So technically she's teaching, correct? That's what you're saying. Okay. And what is the students are doing?
They're drawing.
Okay. What is it called? It's a learning, correct? They're learning to draw, correct? So I want you to understand, there's a teacher, she's teaching, the students are learning, they're practicing, correct?
Yeah.
So drawing is not going to happen one time. Okay. It's going to be an iterative process. That means you keep do until you get better, correct? If I want to draw a house, if I want to draw a dog, if I want to draw a human, correct? I can't draw in my first attempt. Some may not. So it's an iterative process. You continue to learn, you continue to gain knowledge, continue to gain confidence. So that is what's happening in this one, correct?
Yeah.
Wonderful. Thank you, Mr. Thank you, sir. Take care. So let's bring the next participants. Anybody else? Kaushal, we don't have anybody?
Yeah, someone named Abhinav wants to speak now.
Okay, Abhinav, how are you, my friends?
Good.
Okay, do you want to tell about yourself? Where are you from and what grade you are in? Why are you here?
I'm from Fremont in California.
Okay.
I'm going to 7th grade and I've heard a lot about artificial intelligence and I want to learn about it.
Where did you hear about a lot of artificial intelligence?
A lot of people talk about it.
Who's this lot of people? Your father, mother, or friends, or where did you hear?
I heard it from my dad, who heard it from you.
Okay, wonderful. Go ahead.
Well, what the students are doing is
like similar to like a robot where they're like learning from the teacher.
Excellent, excellent, excellent. I like that one. Okay.
So yeah, they're pretty much just like a robot, how a robot learns.
Okay. Okay, great. Okay, great. Awesome. Awesome. Thank you. Last person. Can you bring the next person? There is more questions. Okay. Like I said, the session is going to be very interactive. Okay. Let's just bring the next person.
Hi.
Yes. Can you tell a little bit about yourself? Like what's your name and where are you from? What grade you are in? Why are you here?
All right. My name is Gokul, and I'm going into 8th grade. I'm here because my dad does like a lot of coding and like AI in his
Wow.
company, and I wanted to like just learn more about it, like what it's
Okay.
about.
Okay. Good. Good. Wonderful. So tell us what is happening here.
So this is kind of like how we program robots, like
Okay.
like somebody's like instructing like somebody's instructing something else like what to do, and
Okay.
they're like just doing it.
Okay. 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 Great.
Just
Great.
like the teacher's instructing the students to do something and the students are doing that.
Excellent, excellent, excellent. See the words, what we learned here. One is teacher, teaching, learning. It's important, correct? There's a teacher, he's teaching, the students are learning, correct? So that's key. All right, you all answered well. Let's move on to the next one. What is happening now? What is happening here? Okay, who's this person? What is he doing? What are the machines are doing? Correct? So who's this person? What is he doing? What the machines are doing? So can you bring somebody else? Can someone answer this question? Who's this person? What is he doing? What are the machines are doing?
Hi, my name is Namrata Kyati Kadali. I'm from California, Bay Area. So I'm going into 9th grade. So she looks like she's a teacher and teaching something.
Okay.
And,
So what is he teaching? Namrata, what is he teaching?
So it looks like they're teaching parts of speech.
What is it called? What is it called?
She's teaching grammar.
Language?
Yeah, language.
Okay.
And the machines are really not doing anything. They're just all blue on the screen. So
all blue on the screen?
Yeah.
Okay. So I wanted to think about this. Okay. What is exactly we wanted to understand? So the machines are not blue. The machines are like a student sitting in the classroom. Okay. So think in that way. Okay. You said right. There's no question. Yes, it's a blue. It's just standing there. Okay. But take it in a way. The machines are sitting in a class. The teacher is teaching. What is the machine is doing right now? What is the machine is doing right now? Correct. So that's the point I wanted to highlight. Anyway, Namrata, thank you so much. Let's bring somebody else. One more person. So I want each one of you to speak. Keep in mind. Keep in mind. Okay, the one thing that I learned in my experience, I'm not saying that I'm the only person who knows about it, but when it comes to effective communication, it's absolutely critical. It doesn't matter how strong you are technically, if you don't able to speak well, articulate well, you won't be able to succeed on your career path. There could be a lot of obstacles. There could be a lot of challenges. People may pull you down. So you should know how to speak well. Speak well is not good in English only, also an effective delivery. How do you communicate very effectively? Someone can understand what you're speaking. Okay? So in that context, use this as a platform. Speak, learn, grow. Okay? All right, let's bring this next person. So let's bring the next person. What is happening here? What the machines are doing? So there are 4 people raise their hands. Kaushal. Kaushal, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. I'm moving them, but now I don't think they're
Hello?
talking.
Yes, yes. Who's this?
My name is Michelle, and I'm from Mountain House, California.
Okay. How are you, Michelle?
I'm good. How are you?
I am doing okay. Thank you for asking. So what grade you are in and why are you here?
I'm going to eighth grade,
Mm-hmm.
and my dad mentioned that Python is like something that would be useful in life, but I never got really a chance to like learn it. But like this program helped me, like it gave me like an excuse to learn this and AI at the same time. So
Okay.
win-win on both sides.
We do need, by the way, we do need Python, but Python is just a very minimal role. Python doesn't solve all these problems. The problem is so big, so complex, and like what Scott was talking about, diagnosing disease condition, prevention of care, correct? These are all very deeper problem. In that context, Python just a very minimal role, but definitely we do need Python skills. There are other skills also we need, which we are going to talk about it. So we really appreciate you taking some time to answer this question. Please go ahead. What the machines are doing here?
The machines, I think they're just like waiting for someone to like work on the computer.
Okay.
Like to give it instructions.
Instructions. That's the word I was looking for. Instructions. Okay. Instructions. All right. Anyway, thank you so much. Okay. Thank you so much. Take care. So what the machines are doing right now, the machines are assume it's learning. Okay. Assume it's learning. And what do you call? This is called machine learning. This is called machine learning. Correct? So I just wanted to summarize. Okay. So what we've understood, human intelligence, robots. Is this artificial intelligence? Yes or no? It could be yes, it could be no. What is happening here? The teacher is teaching, the student is learning. So what this means? The teacher is teaching, the students are learning, they are creating human intelligence. Here, the machine is taught. Okay, we are teaching the machine is learning. So these are the core concepts we are going to evolve and learn today. Okay, so we are going to evolve and learn today. All right, let's move on. What is artificial intelligence by definition? Okay, what is artificial intelligence by definition? So this is more from business industry perspective. As I said in the beginning, there is two focus, an academic side and industry side. Practical world, okay, real world, real life. So this is more for real world, real life. Artificial intelligence is nothing but creating intelligence artificially. What kind of intelligence? Okay, we are going to look at it. Okay, and who's going to perform this intelligence? We are going to look at it. And how that has been carried out, we are going to look at that. Okay, how do you gain those intelligence? Okay, so by definition, if someone asks you what is artificial intelligence, okay, so before we attempt to answer the question what is artificial intelligence, we should know what is an intelligence. We should know what is an intelligence. Creating such intelligence artificially, it's called artificial intelligence. Okay, artificial intelligence. So what kind of intelligence we can create? So we talked at the beginning, reading, writing, decision making, problem solving, okay, etc. So these are all type of intelligence. These are all type of intelligence. Human intelligence, anything that a human does, anything that a human does, okay? Anything that a human does, those are all human intelligence. At the beginning, you all answered excellent. You said a typical task a human performs, okay? A typical task a human performs, all right? Or it could be a control that a human has on these things, okay? A control that a human has on all these things. So going back, what is human intelligence? Anything that a human does either through a formal training or an informal training is all called human intelligence. The knowledge that you gain, okay? The expertise that you gain, the skill that you gain on a formal training. Where do you gain such training? Okay, so that is what happening here. The answer I was looking for, you gain skill, you gain knowledge, you gain intelligence, you gain intelligent. These things are nothing but human intelligence. Okay, so these things are nothing but human intelligence. Okay, so human intelligence are nothing but anything that you learn, okay, either through formal training process or education system or an informal training. So what is an informal training? So informal training, I want to drive a car, okay? I'm a 12th grader. I got my license, okay? So now I want to drive a car. So your families are little afraid. So what they do, they will send you to training school, get more hands-on learning, okay? So you go to a formal driving school, learn the car driving. Option B, that's quite expensive. I have a lot of free time. I can teach you. Either your mom or dad, they can teach you on how to drive a car. So that is an informal training. An informal training, it does not have to be structured. A formal training, the training was scheduled on a specific day. Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 6 to 8. 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. you have a training session. The instructor comes and takes you, moves around, drives you. All right, that's a formal training. And informal training is nothing but a training that occurs, no structure in place. So that means your mom comes and tells you, hey, let's go for a drive. Okay, there's nothing scheduled actually. You are free, I'm free, let's go for a drive. Okay, then when you're on the drive, okay, you got a call. Your brother or sister is telling, hey, I'm hungry, I need food. Your mom brings you back. Okay? So that is not a formal training, that's an informal training. So it doesn't matter what it is, either through formal training or an informal training. If you gain a knowledge and apply the knowledge to solve these problems, reading problem, writing problem, decision-making problem, cooking problem, driving problem, correct? So all become intelligence. Those are all human intelligence. What is an emotional intelligence? Let's ask this question to the audience, correct? Can anyone tell what is an emotional intelligence? Can anyone tell what is an emotional intelligence? So don't read what I wrote here, okay? I want some specific example. I want some specific example. All right, so someone is raising their hands. Let's bring them on board. Quickly answer the question, what is emotional intelligence? I told intelligence is nothing but reading, writing, cooking, driving, etc. Those are all intelligence. Those are all tasks someone can perform. So these tasks, to perform this task, you need skill, you need expertise, you need knowledge. So these tasks are performed by a human based on the human knowledge, skill, and expertise. That's called human intelligence. So now we are talking about an emotional intelligence. Can someone tell, please? I just need examples. I don't want the definition, which I already wrote it here. Okay. So can someone tell me? Yes.
Feeling could be emotional intelligence.
Awesome. Awesome. I love your answer. Feeling. Okay. Feeling is the word that I was looking for. Awesome. Anything else? So I just need examples. Correct? So I need an example. Human feeling is not an example, but that's the right context what you said. Okay. I need an example. Can someone tell, please? Can you give me an example?
I was thinking like empathy or sympathy.
Yes, yes. The words are perfect. The words are ultimate perfect. What I need an example. Just an example.
Okay, let's say someone gets hurt.
Okay,
and,
excellent, excellent. You get to the point. Yes, go ahead.
And you feel bad or sad for them that they're hurt and they're in pain, so you go to help them out. That is emotional intelligence.
Awesome, awesome. I love your response. Thank you so much. So let's take an example. What do you see when you see a snake in front of you? Like, there is a snake in front of you. Let's say you are all sitting in a class, correct? There is a snake that came into the class. What do you guys do now? So what do you guys do now? So either you try to kill the snake, or you're going to call for some help, or you're going to run away, correct? For that, do you think you need a formal training, like taking a driving lessons or taking a cooking class? Do you think you have to go and take a training to kill a snake? No. Or to run away when you see a snake? No. How did that happen? That's the maturity. That's the maturity. So you learn over a period of time without any formal, informal training. You gain skills and knowledge and expertise, correct? So understand the word skills, knowledge, and expertise. That's my most important point for you to understand, correct? Emotional intelligence, an intelligence that occurs without any formal, informal training, based on a maturity that when we grow, okay? Based on the maturity that when you grow. For example, so you are sitting and watching a television in your home. Your little brother is crying or sister is crying, right? What do you do? Either you tell your mom or you go and try to console your brother or sister, right? So that is not something that you have to go and take a formal training, right? You have to take a formal training. You do this by yourself. How? So you do this based on your maturity, based on the thing that what you go through in your life, okay? So emotional intelligence, okay? Emotional intelligence is intelligence that happens over a period of time through maturity, okay? So what we talked about, an intelligence, what is a human intelligence, what is an emotional intelligence, okay? And intelligence is nothing but reading, writing, cooking, driving, etc., etc., etc. So those are all intelligence. Such intelligence performed by a human based on their skills and knowledge and expertise, those are all called human intelligence. And emotional intelligence, for human intelligence, you have to have a formal, informal training. For an emotional intelligence, you don't need a training. You learn over a period of time on a maturity, okay? When you grow up, you are maturing.
So year 1, year 2, year 3, when you start growing yourself, you learn many things. That's experience. That's life. That is what you learn when you grow. Such intelligence, okay, all emotional intelligence. In all 3 cases, we are talking about learning, gaining skills and knowledge and expertise. Understand, in all 3 cases, we are talking about learning, gaining skills and knowledge. Okay, so what people are saying about artificial intelligence, and artificial intelligence is nothing but an alternate or a replacement or a substitute for all 3. Okay, it could be an alternate, it could be replacement, or it could be substitute for all 3. Okay, so what is intelligent? You understood. What is human intelligence? You understood. What is emotional intelligence? You understood. When people talk about artificial intelligence, either it's an alternate or a replacement or a substitute for all of this. Okay, so all of this. So that is by definition what is artificial intelligence. Okay, if anyone asks you, what is artificial intelligence, you should be in a position to explain all the things what we taught. Okay, in a simple word, it's a replacement, or it's an alternate, or a substitute for a human intelligence, or an emotional intelligence, or any intelligence that you could think of. Correct? Any intelligence could think of. It's very powerful. It is very powerful. So what it means, it is not for civil engineer, it's not for mechanical engineer, it's not for electrical engineer, it's not for a physician, it's not for a police officer, it is not for law enforcement. It's everywhere. It is everywhere. It is everywhere. So that is why I listed this intelligence. Intelligence are nothing but the task that the human performs, the task that anyone performs. Right? That's basically what's an intelligence. Right? So if anyone asks you what is an artificial intelligence, you should be able to tell it's an alternate or a substitute or a replacement for a human intelligence, emotional intelligence, or any intelligence that we could think of. All right, let's move on. So that is good to hear. Okay, that is good to hear. But how does it work in an industry? Okay, how does it work in an industry? So in industry, correct, there are many different ways. Based on my experience, what I have done in the industry, correct, there are 2 forms you can implement artificial intelligence. Option 1, build an intelligent automation. Option 2, build data science. Okay, option 2, build data science. So in order for you to implement artificial intelligence or create intelligent artificially in industry point of view, how I can create intelligence artificially in an industry. So that can be done in 2 forms. One is an intelligent automation, second, a data science. So here I cannot go and tell I'm going to kill a snake, or I'm going to touch a baby, or I'm going to cook. Correct? Those are all okay to understand. But when it comes to industry, okay, when it comes to business, when you go to a company like Amazon, when you go to a company like Facebook, or Google, or Apple, or any company you name, how these companies are using artificial intelligence. Okay? So when we say artificial intelligence, either an alternate or a substitute or a replacement for human emotional any intelligence. Okay? Human emotional any intelligence in the form of either an intelligent automation or data science. The rest all ignore. Don't even think about anything. Okay? Don't even think about anything. There could be 100 different ways to represent this one. It doesn't matter what they talk. Bottom line, when you go to these companies, let's assume you want to go work for Google, you want to go and work for Facebook, you want to go and work for Apple, X, Y, Z, correct? It doesn't matter where you want to go. If the goal is to create intelligent artificially, in what form that would be created, either an intelligent automation or a data science. So what is an intelligent automation? An automation that occurs without any human intervention, any manual intervention. I will explain further in detail. Okay, there's no human, there's no manual intervention. Okay, I will explain that in further. What is data science? Extracting hidden insights on data. What exactly it means, I will explain to you. What exactly this means, I will explain to you. Just hold on these 2 thoughts right now. What I want you to understand. So when we say how artificial intelligence applied, or in what form it is applied in real world, or in a business, or in a company, it is in 2 forms. One is an intelligent automation, second is data science. An intelligent automation and data science. So those are the 2 ways you could apply artificial intelligence in a real world. All right. So, so what we understood, Okay, what can we do with artificial intelligence? Okay, we talked about from a business perspective, artificial intelligence does an intelligent automation, data science. When you combine these two, you can build digital transformation. You can build digital transformation using artificial intelligence. You can implement or you can develop an intelligent automation. We are going to talk what it is. Second, you can build data science. When you combine these two, so that means the information goes full in a digital form, okay? Full in a digital form without any human manual intervention. No human involved, no manual intervention involved. So that is basically what the digital transformation. Let's spend some time to understand these heavy concepts. What is an intelligent automation? What is data science? What's digital transformation? Okay, so these are all a little heavy for you to understand. Let's just go back to our interactive discussion. We'll understand this one. All right. So I want someone, okay? I want someone to explain to me. So this is the best example what we can think about an intelligent automation. Okay, what we can think about an intelligent automation. I told an automation that occurs without any human involvement and manual work. So that is called an intelligent automation. I will explain further, but for now, I need a volunteer who can tell what is this and why it is an intelligent automation. Okay, I have two questions. The first question is, what is this? The picture that what you're looking at, what is this? The second question, why it is called an intelligent automation? All right, Kaushal, can you bring someone?
Yes, I selected two people.
Okay.
Hi, my name is Namrata Kyati Kadali. So I think this is an intelligent automation because it requires no humans or any manual work. So it's an automation, it can drive automatically. So yeah.
Awesome, awesome. So the first point is it's a self-driving car. It's an autonomous car, correct? So that's what you're saying. The second point is it's an intelligent automation because there's no driver inside the car, correct? There's no driver. Is that the message you're saying, Namrata? Okay, excellent, excellent. Are you hungry for food?
Not really.
Not really? All right, you let me know when you're hungry. We'll stop that point, okay? Okay, we'd like to hear from you. All right, can you bring the next participant? Kaushal.
Okay, my name is Audit Rajnikant, and
Wow, so your name is Rajnikant?
My last name is Rajnikant.
Okay, so you're the superstar.
So I'm going to 8th grade this year, and I live in California.
Okay.
And, yeah,
is California a state or a place?
It's a state.
Okay, so what place you're living?
Fremont.
Okay, Fremont. Okay.
Yeah. This is IA because it observes the environment and it overcomes obstacles like other cars, people walking on the street, and yeah.
Okay.
So without any human involvement.
Excellent. Excellent. So I like the word used for observations and understand the environments, correct? That's really the key. All right. Okay, great. Great. One last question, last participant, then we'll move on to the next slide. Anybody else?
My name is Srinesh. I'm in 12th grade.
Okay, wonderful. So what college, you're in 12th grade right now?
Yes.
Okay, great, great. So what's your thoughts on this one? What is this?
This is a self-driving car.
Excellent. Okay, that's the word I was looking for, it's a self-driving car. Okay, so why does it's called an intelligent automation?
So basically there's no human driver required. You can do all the driving on its own.
Okay, so what happened if the car met an accident? Let's say you are sitting in the car. Now the car is met into an accident, correct? The car got into an accident. So what happens at points? So who's liable? Is the car by itself liable or you are liable?
I'm liable.
Why? You are not driving the car.
Well, I don't know actually.
Yes. So these questions, nobody knows the answer. So that is the state we are in. Okay, that is the state we are in. So we don't have an answer, correct? We don't have an answer for a lot of things. So some of the questions that the students asked to Scott, there's no answer at this point, but I can speak more about it. Okay, so this is called public policies. Okay, policies. You need to define the conditions, road conditions, and policies for these type of vehicles. Okay, so I don't think that we have defined well enough so that we can understand. You are sitting in the car drives by itself, but it got into an accident. Does that mean you are going to pay for the other car, or you are liable? We have no answer at this point. Do you understand what I'm talking about?
Yes.
Okay, so anyway, thank you so much. I really appreciate your response. Let's move on. So I have a small assignment for you all. Okay, you don't have to do right now. You can do it from the 4 to 5 session with Kaushal, so he will take care of this one. I wanted to give some example for an intelligent automation. Okay, I wanted to think. You have a lot of time. Okay, so you can think about it. Give me an example. Okay, give me an example at the time of 4 to 5 when you're going to have a group discussion. Okay, so the example that I gave you, in a self-driving autonomous car, it's fully autonomous. That means no human, no instruction. Correct? What does that mean? When a car drives on a constant speed, if it sees a red light, it stops. When a car drives on a constant speed, if it sees a yellow light, it slows down. When a car is stopped, if it sees a green light, it moves forward. So that instruction, it's not a manual instruction. Okay, it is an instruction fully automated. Okay, there's no manual, there's no human, no driver. Instruction, the car how it is driving, it's fully automated. There's no manual involvement. So that is why it's an intelligent automation, an automation that occurs by itself without any human. Okay, so what I want you to find out, I want you to give another example. Okay, something practical. Don't write stories. Okay, don't write stories. Something practical. I know you all know this one. Okay, if you used iPhone, if you are using iPhone, you have seen that one. Or if you use Amazon websites, you may have seen this one. Or if you used Facebook, you have seen this one. So these are all right now in commercial use. Okay, in commercial use. So where does you could see this one? You could see this one in your iPhone. You can see this on your Facebook page, or you can see this on Amazon website, etc. Okay? So there's a lot of places you could see, but I want you to come up with some examples. What do you think about an intelligent automation? Let's move on. So we talked about data science. Okay, we talked about data science, and Scott also talked many things about how it's been applied in healthcare industry. Okay, how it's been applied in healthcare industry. So what is actually data science? Okay, what is actually data science? Applying science on data. Okay, what is actually data science? Applying science on data. Can anyone give an example? How do you apply science on data? That sounds very weird, right? So how do you apply science on data? Can anyone give an example based on what you know? Maybe the 12th grader can give an example. When I say data science, okay, if you ask a lot of people, they talk many things, okay? They talk many things. In a simple word, data science is nothing but applying science on data. Applying science on data. What does that mean? Can you give an example? Can anyone give an example?
From my experience, I would say that data science is most closely related to probability and the chances of something happening.
Okay, wonderful, wonderful. I understand what you said. Something very specific. Do you know what grade you are in?
I'm going to be a junior.
Okay, okay. So, any thoughts on some of those statistical modeling technique? So part of this program, we told students can study about statistical modeling and etc. So if you studied, I'm sure you can. If it's not a big deal, we'll talk about it.
So like for a specific example, it would be like the chances of rolling a 1 on a dice.
Sure. Okay. Okay. Yes. Excellent. So how do you apply science on data? That's the question, correct? Like, in what form it's been applied. Anybody else? Next participant, please.
Maybe like a condition, like you can like set the data science to look for certain conditions or patterns, and then.
Okay. Okay, that's fine. No problem. Actually, it's all well thought through. Okay, all the points, whatever you're saying, it's well thought through. No question. Absolutely, there's no doubt about it. That's fine. So, for example, some of the statistical modeling tool that you may have heard. Okay, I'm going to name few. Can someone tell me? Decision tree, random forest. Have you heard about these terms? Decision tree, random forest. Have you heard about it? Anyone? I'm sure somebody may have heard about it. What is a decision tree? What is a random forest? Anyway, so let me, Kaushal, is anyone there?
Yeah, I gave multiple people the opportunity to talk.
Okay.
It's decision tree is like a flow chart kind of thing.
Okay, wonderful. Flowchart kind of thing. Okay, all right. So you did hear about decision tree. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, I heard of that, and I know there's also I think a module in Python called decision tree classifier or something like that.
Awesome, awesome. So you're going to the next level actually. Okay, that's cool. That's cool. So anyway, so what I'm talking about, data science is nothing but applying science on data. So example, decision tree, random forest, logistic regression, linear regression, neural nets. Okay, so these are all different scientific or science concepts. Okay, so taking that, applying on data, it's called data science. Why do I do? I want to extract the hidden insights. Okay, when I say hidden insights, so here what you see here, a patient information. Okay, I have patient information. There's the information about the patient, about their heart diseases or heart condition and other body parts and its conditions. I have the data. So based on this, I want to predict or I want to understand when a patient goes to an hospital, how long the patient can stay, length of stay. If someone is going to leave the hospital, what would be the readmission rate? How soon they can come back? I want to predict. If someone has been, like, you know, in a bed, how long they're going to stay in the bed, and what is the discharge rate is going to look like, and how does the patient is behaving. So these are all nothing but trying to extract hidden insights from the data. How do we extract the hidden insights from the data? Apply science. What kind of science? Random forest, decision tree, logistic regression, linear regression, neural net, k-mean clustering, k-nearest neighbor, etc. So these falls under science discipline, not an engineering discipline. This falls under science discipline, not an engineering discipline. You apply the science on data, it becomes data science. Why do you do that? In order to find hidden insights. What is the hidden insights? When a patient has been hospitalized, when a patient goes to an hospital, I want to know how long the patient can be in the hospital and how soon the person is going to be readmitted. When is the person is going to be discharged? How does this person is behaving? So these are all hidden insights. You no need a doctor. You no need a physician. Okay? Someone asked a question to start. In the future, do we need a medical degree? Answer is no. I'm for sure. Do we need a physician? Answer is no. We don't need that. Okay? So that is where we are going. So we are going towards building data science for a deeper insights for a decision-making process. Okay? So what kind of decision-making process that we are going to do? So based on the length of stay, I can plan for occupancy. Okay? If the patient is going to stay in the hospital for the next 4 days, I cannot admit another patient. If the patient is going to stay for the next 2 days, then I can take the next patient. So I can do decision making, I can do planning, I can do budgeting, I can do so and so. From that point of view, what I need insights. I need insights. So there could be 100,000 millions of definition in the internet. Ignore all. In a simple way, data science is nothing but applying science on data. What kind of science we are going to apply? Decision tree, random forest, logistic regression, neural nets, k-means clustering, etc. So these are all science discipline. You apply this on data. Why do you need to apply? To extract hidden insights. What kind of insights? When I apply this on a patient data, I can understand the patient length of stay. I can understand the patient readmission rate. I can understand the patient discharge rate and behavioral pattern. So this is called data science. This is called data science. So I have an example for you. I have an assignment for you. So during your lunch break, okay, think through. So between 4 and 5, you can discuss this with, like, you know, the youth team. So you can answer these questions. I wanted to give some example for data science. The example that I gave you, length of stay, it's very patient oriented. Readmission rate, it's a healthcare patient oriented. All are healthcare oriented. So it is there every industry. It is there in every industry. In every industry, you could use data science. You could use data science, not one industry, not one function. Anything, everything, it's going to be on data science. Okay, it's going to be applied on data science. So I wanted to come up with some examples. Tell me in the next, so like in the meeting that you're going to have with the youth team, give that answers. All right. So we talked about data science. We talked about an intelligent automation. We are talking about digital transformation. Okay, so I'm going to tell you something and I'm going to ask you something too. So I'm saying when people talk about digital platform, when people talk about digital transformation, the best example that I could think, the number one always comes into mind, Uber. So Uber, I would say, is the best digital platform. The next I would say DoorDash. The next I would say DoorDash. Correct? I'm not saying there is no other platform. I'm just giving some examples. Why? So I'm sure you all may have taken an Uber, okay? So some point in your life, you may have taken Uber. In some point in your life, you may have ordered DoorDash. When I say you, it could be your father, your mother, your brother, or a sister, or friend, or family, whatever, correct? Somewhere you have heard those names. So that's why I picked these two platforms. So don't think only these are the two digital platforms right now in the market space. So this is basically widely, commonly used. Widely, commonly used. So that is why I picked these two platforms. So what I wanted to find out, why am I saying Uber as a digital platform? Okay, based on what you know. I know it's a heavy concept. I don't want you to worry too much about it, but I want to hear from you. So what I want to hear from you, when people talk about digital transformation, I picked Uber is a true digital platform. DoorDash is another digital platform, right? So I can think of. So the reason I picked these two, it's very widely, commonly used. You as a student may have taken this in the past, right? So that's why I'm asking. So I need some participants, volunteers, who can tell why am I saying Uber as a digital platform? Any idea? Any idea? Okay, I have two participants raise their hands. So Kaushal, can you bring them?
Yeah. Satya, do you want to talk now?
Yeah, sure. So I think, hi, my name is Satya. I'm going on senior year for high school.
Okay. Where are you from, Satya?
Fremont. So the digital platform, or you describe it as
so my question is why I'm saying Uber is a digital platform. Okay, like if you know, that's fine. Just give a shot and try it out.
I'll just guess. So I think that it's a digital platform because it's almost like a framework, a digital framework.
Mm-hmm.
I would arguably say that it's basically replaced taxi driving. So
Sure. Yes, no question. Like so it kind of captured the entire taxi market, correct? Like it just took over the whole market. Actually, there's no question. That is for sure, right? So my point is, why do we call this as a digital platform? Okay, so that is basically what we understood an intelligent automation. We understood data science. We are trying to understand what is a digital transformation or a digital platform. That's why we are talking about it.
So because they've taken this market, they've created sort of a network or a platform that individuals can interact with, right?
Sure.
So I think that's why it's called a platform, right?
Okay, answer is yes, but we need more clarity. We need more clarity. Like that's what it is. But again, I really appreciate the attempt. Thank you so much. Are you hungry?
No.
Okay, so we can go for next another 1 hour.
Sure.
All right, I'll make sure actually I'll stop an appropriate time. Thank you though. The next participant, please.
Hello.
Yes, boss. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I am doing okay. What's your name?
Mukund Hemant Kumar.
Okay, Mr. Mukund. Where are you from?
I'm from Mountain House. I'm going to 8th grade.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Do you want to give a try?
Yeah. So I think I know like why Uber is called a digital platform, because like well, there's taxis, like you'd have to just wait for a taxi or they'd be standing outside like a hotel or something. While in Uber, like everything's based like on a phone. Like you have to download the app, and then you have
Excellent.
to call. You have to like order, like book a car or something, and then the car will come. So the reason why it's a digital platform, because like everything is on a digital platform. Like nothing is like in person.
Excellent. I like the way you described. Right, everything on the app, everything happens in the phone. Everything happens like in a digital form. That means there's no paper copy. There's no like credit card swiping or anything. Right, it's all happening on just a one platform. Correct. Okay, wonderful, wonderful. Thank you. So last participant, can someone else answer this question, please? Let's not talk about Uber, let's talk about DoorDash, correct? Let's talk about DoorDash. So they're not our friends, correct? They're just speaking, we are just speaking our names. So can someone tell, why does DoorDash is called a digital platform?
I think DoorDash is a digital platform because it's able to automate.
Boss, can you tell your name and where are you from, and a little bit an introduction about you?
Yeah, my name is Rithik. I'm going in 10th grade and I live in Brownwood.
Okay.
So I think that DoorDash is a digital platform because it's able to automate like who they choose to deliver the food to you. They're choosing someone nearby.
Okay. Excellent, excellent. So all are great thoughts. I want you to think through all these things, correct? Trust me. You could ask your parents, you could ask your friends, like, getting to know all these concepts, what we're learning, what's an intelligent automation, what's data science, what is a digital transformation or digital platform. It is not that easy, but at least we are making it very easy for us to understand. Okay, it is the future. These are the features. So why does Uber is a digital platform? For example, my family is in New York and I'm here. They're calling me, hey, can you book a taxi for me? Yes, I can. So I went to Uber app. I put where they are. I put where they wanted to go. Then I said, get me the driver. In 5 minutes, they're in taxi, they're able to go, and I'm able to pay, I'm taking care. If you look at here, it doesn't matter where I am in the world, whether I'm in India or China or UK or Europe or anywhere in the world, wherever Uber operates, you can operate from where you are. I am in Fremont. My family is back in India. I can order food for my family, or I can book a taxi for my family. That is the scale of the platform. Okay, that is the scale of the platform. Where does data science comes into picture? Where does artificial intelligence comes into picture? For example, when I said I am in San Francisco or in San Jose, California. My friend is in New York. Okay, so they want to go from Manhattan to New Jersey. Okay, they're in Manhattan. They want to go to New Jersey. They call me and ask me to book a taxi. I booked a Uber. I told pick up from them Manhattan Times Square. Okay, somewhere around that area. Then go to New Jersey. I put the destination. It calculates and tells me how much it's going to cost. It's about $90. I said it's fine. Do I want a Uber X? Yes, I need a Uber X. I put that one. So it went and picked. I dropped them. I completed the transaction. So here, if you noticed, based on the location where it is, it understands the time zone, it understands the currency, it understands the geography, it understands anything, everything on the location. That's an intelligent artificially happening. That's an intelligence artificially built. Okay, so that intelligence happens on the fly, and it also understands the currencies. Okay, it also understands the location, it also understands the geography. Right? So there's no human involved. All right. It calculates and tells. Correct? So can anyone tell in Uber where does data science use? Okay, this is for the 12th graders. Okay, I want you to think about it. I explained where does an intelligent automation occurs. Okay, my friend in New York called me and asked me, hey, can you book a taxi? I'm at Times Square. I want to go to New Jersey. Okay, I want to go to New Brunswick. So book me a taxi. So I went to Uber. I put pickup location. It's Times Square. Drop off location, New Brunswick. How much time it's going to take? It says roughly 45 minutes. What is the cost? $90. I said, go ahead and book. I did that. Okay? So this whole process of figuring out the local time, local location, geography, it all happened without any human manual intervention based on how the intelligence has been created. And that is an intelligent automation. What I'm asking you, in Uber, where does data science comes into picture? Any thoughts? I know it's a bit advanced question, but I want
on the website to thehospital.org.
Okay, can anyone tell please? In Uber, in this example that I gave you, okay, from Times Square to New Brunswick, I'm booking a taxi. In that example, where does data science used? Can anyone tell please?
Yeah. So,
yes, ma'am. How are you?
yeah, so I think my name's Audit and I answered before.
Okay, Adit, tell me, Adit, where does data science used here?
So data science can be used when, like, whenever the drivers, their name, their, I don't know, information about them is all stored in a server, I guess, and you could look at the driver info to see who's safe and if you can drive with them. So that is all managed with data science.
Okay, great, great, awesome. Anything else you could think of? That is fine. So what we're saying, retrieving information based on the driver's image or a picture or the name, whatever it is, I'm telling you, is it good to travel with this driver? Am I safe? Is this driver had any prior accident, or is a criminal activity, etc.? Is that what you're saying? So look at the driver profile and decide whether you want to travel. Okay, excellent point. I like it. Thank you. Anything else you could think of?
It only, like, you can only see drivers within your location, so it takes your location.
Okay, okay. All right, so those are all fine. Thank you so much. Next participant, please. Anybody else want to answer this question? I know it's not an easy question to answer. I understand that part, but I want you to think about it. So my question is, I am booking a taxi from Times Square, New York to New Brunswick, New Jersey. The taxi is on the way. Okay, the taxi is on the way. When it is on the way, where does data science used? The driver is driving, the passenger is in the car. In that travel, where does data science used? Anybody else?
Can I answer?
Yes, ma'am, you can.
My name is Samiksha. I'm from Hayward, California, and I'm going to 9th grade next year.
Okay.
I was thinking that, like, Uber as an app collects data regarding, like, the distance between
Excellent. That's the point I was looking for. Distance. Go ahead. You are very close. Go ahead.
And it also, like, calculates the cost or price of the trip based.
Awesome. 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 So that is a data science. That is a data science. Second, the distance, what you said, correct? That's the actual word that I was looking for. So for example, okay, so you start at 9 o'clock. I started my taxi at 9 o'clock. It's supposed to reach there 9:45. Okay, it's supposed to reach there 9:45. So what happened? When the car is on a driving condition, there is an accident in between. Okay, there is an accident in between. Because of the accident in between, the road has been blocked. So now it recalculates and predicts the arrival time. The recalculates and predicts the arrival time. As per as the arrival time that when I started the taxi, it was 9:45. Since there is an accident, now the roads are blocked. I'm driving on a constant speed, but it has to calculate the arrival time. The calculation of the arrival time and predicting the what time you're going to arrive, that's data science. Do you all understand, ladies and gentlemen? Do you all understand? So this is where Uber become very powerful, very powerful. It has both an intelligent automation. It also has data science built in. So combining these two, you can create digital transformation. If you look at Uber, for whatsoever, under any circumstances, you don't use your credit card. You don't tell, like, on a paperwork, like, you don't fill out any paper. You don't do anything. Everything goes automatically, either in the form of an intelligent automation or in the form of a data science. The example that what we have given for calculating the price, calculating the arrival time, all are data science. Does that make sense? Do you all understand? Do you all understand? All right. So now I hope so far, whatever we talked about it, okay, you should be very comfortable and clear. You should be in a position to understand what is artificial intelligence. Second, in what form it actually applied in business. And third, what each one to mean to you. When we say an intelligent automation, what it means to you. When we say data science, what it means to you. When we say digital transformation, what it means to you. This is a foundational building block. If you don't understand these, you can write and make a note. You won't be able to learn anything beyond. Okay, so the rest of the concepts, things that what's going to come, it's all going to build based on these core framework or this core building blocks. Okay, please make sure you understand all these core concepts. Okay, all these core concepts. All right, let's move on. Now we are getting into the roots. Okay, how do we create intelligent artificially? Okay, so how do we create intelligent artificially? Okay, number one, our goal is to create intelligent artificially. What kind of intelligence? Reading, writing, cooking, okay, driving, disease diagnosis, anything that happens by a human, all are intelligence. How do we create that artificially? That is the question. Teach the machine. We looked at a teacher teaches the students learning the arts, and they're making pictures and drawing pictures. Same way, you teach the machine. How to teach the machine? Train the machine. How to train the machine? In what form? So that's basically, it comes down to decision making, machine learning, deep learning, computer vision, natural language processing, robotic process automation, correct? So I'm sure you all heard about it, okay? I don't want you to answer this one. Have you heard about it? One or two people, tell me, have you heard about these terminologies? So what we are trying to do, we are trying to tell, how do we create intelligent artificially? Okay, how do we create intelligent artificially? Teach the machine. All right, how do we teach the machine? Train the machine. How do we train the machine? In what form the train is going to be trained? In what form the machine is going to be trained? You can train the machine in the form of machine learning, deep learning, computer vision, natural language processing, robotic process automation. So what I'm saying, I don't want you to tell what each one means, but I want you to tell, have you heard these terms? That's all I'm asking. Yes or no? Yes or no? So can we ask someone to speak? Have you heard these terms?
Yes, I have heard these terms before.
Okay, where did you hear? Where did you hear?
YouTube videos, like interviews, stuff like that.
Nice, nice, nice. So what's your name?
Adit.
Okay, Adit is the only guy who's speaking, correct? Like, so we need some other volunteer as well. All right, so thank you though. Thank you though. Anybody else? Have you heard about all these terms?
Yeah, I've heard about machine learning and deep learning before.
Okay, where did you hear about it?
I heard about it online.
Online? Awesome, awesome. Okay, all right. So the point what I'm trying to make you understand, the goal is to create intelligent artificially. How do you create intelligent artificially? Teach the machine. How do you teach the machine? Train the machine. How do you train the machine? Use all this different technique. Use all this different technique. So don't worry anything beyond this point. Ignore rest all not required. Stay focused. Stay focused. Learn all the 5 things. Okay. So what are the different way we can teach and train the machine? That is the key. Okay. That is the key. If you noticed what we discussed at the beginning, in our traditional world, a teacher teaches the students. Okay. In our traditional world, a teacher teaches the students. In the world of artificial intelligence, you don't teach the students, you teach a machine. Okay, I'm not saying that we are going to kick the students out from the class, so don't think in that way. I'm just saying, how does it change? Okay, you teach a student to draw a picture or do some math or do something. So now, as a teacher, as a student, your job is to not teach somebody else. Okay, I'm sure we have about 80 something participants. Out of 80 participants, I'm sure in the future, some of you could become a teacher. Okay, I love teaching. I have a real passion for teaching. Okay, I enjoy teaching. You could be a teacher. Okay, you can make a difference. So the goal is not you go out and teach student. Instead, you teach a machine. It is a change. It is a change. So how do I teach the machine? That is what these 5 areas. You teach a machine using machine learning technique, deep learning technique, computer vision technique, natural language processing technique, robotic process automation. If you never heard this one, that's fine. Make a note, dig deep. Okay, dig deep. This is what it's involved. This is what is involved. When people talk about artificial intelligence, it's going to be around this, only this. Technicality could be different. You can use different technologies. Okay, you can use Python, you can use Kubernetes, you can use Kubeflow, you can use TensorFlow, etc. Those are all technicality. But the core concept of creating intelligent artificially falls under these 5 core principles. How do you teach the machine? What do you teach the machine? That's what this is. All right. So we talked about it. I'm just putting all the things in perspective. And intelligent automation, data science, digital transformation. So how do we implement all the things? How do we create an intelligent automation? Or how do we build data science? Or how do we perform digital transformation? We need artificial intelligence. In all 3, we need artificial intelligence. All right. In order for me to go and build artificial intelligence, what do I need? I need machine learning, I need deep learning, I need computer vision, I need natural language processing, I need robotic process automation. It could be one, it could be some, it could be all. Depends on the problem that you are touching. Okay, it could be the problem that you are touching. Okay, so this is a summary. So far, whatever we studied building an intelligent automation, developing data science, developing digital transformation. So how do we implement? You create artificial intelligence. Okay, to do these things, we need artificial intelligence. In order to implement artificial intelligence, we need all these things. Okay, we need all the things. Which things? Machine learning, deep learning, computer vision, natural language processing, robotic process automation. As I said, there could be so many things out there. Don't get into things which may not make any sense. Stay focused, try to learn and understand what each one means. Let's move on. So what is a machine learns? Okay, so what we talked about it. Teach the machine, train the machine learns. Okay, that's what it is. So to create intelligent artificially, teach the machine. How to teach the machine? Train the machine. How to train the machine? Use these techniques. So that is what we are talking here. So what is it the machine learns? So okay, so the number 1, machine learning. Under machine learning, there are different options: supervised, unsupervised, reinforcement. Again, I will revisit that more in detail later. For now, you take it. Number 2, deep learning. Number 3, computer vision. Number 4, natural language processing. Number 5, robotic process automation. Okay, so you as a student, when you go to school, I need an answer from the students. Okay, when you go to school, what is that you study in the school? Ignore what we are looking at right now. Ignore deep learning, ignore computer vision, ignore natural language processing, robotic process automation. When you go to the school, okay, when you go to a school, what do you study? Can anyone tell, please? When you go to school, what do you study? In the school, what subject you are studying? You study English, you study math, you study physics, you study chemistry, you study etc. Okay, so I'm answering the question, so that's fine. Let me move on. So I know some of you are hungry, okay? So I wanted to get to a logical level that I can stop the session. So when you go to school, what do you do? You study different subjects. What subject you study? You could study math, physics, chemistry, depends on what it is. You can imagine these are all different subjects. The machine going to study and learn. Okay, these are all different subjects. The machine is going to study and learn. Okay, the machine is going to study and learn. So I want to make sure you understand, when you go to school, what you do, you study different subjects. You study English, you study physics, you study chemistry, you study math, and so on. So in the same way, the machine also has to study and learn. What is that machine is going to study and learn? That's what we are talking about. Okay, that's what you're talking about. So I'm going to explain 3, and I want you to do 2 by yourself as an assignment. Okay, so under computer vision, the machine learns about images, videos, objects, okay, etc. Under computer vision, the machine learns about images, videos, objects. For example, a self-driving car, when it drives in a constant speed, what is it it sees on the road condition? It sees a man or a woman walking on the street, or an animal walking on the street. So what is that? That's an object detection. It sees an object. Okay. So when it sees a red light, okay, when it sees a red light, it stops and then when it sees a green light, it goes. When it sees an yellow light, it slows down. How does it happen? That's part of the computer vision. Okay, in a self-driving car, when a car is on a constant speed going on a road condition, the car is seeing a human or an animal in the road. The car sees a red light, green light, yellow light on the street. What happens? It acts. So you have to teach the machine to do such things. Those are all computer vision. So under computer vision, what the machine is learning, it learns about an image, it learns about a video, it learns about an object. So this is where image recognition, voice recognition, human recognition, facial recognition, all the things are coming into picture. Okay, so this is where you have an image recognition. It understands the image. Is this image a cat or a dog? Is this image male or a female? Is this image Indian or a Chinese? Is the image is like, what kind of image is this? So that is an image recognition. That is an image recognition. So you're looking at a video. In a video, you see a group of picture. I want to understand who's this person. Is this John Smith? Yes, that is John Smith. Okay. In a particular video, you want to look for an image, and you find an image, and that image is John. Yes. So it could be a human recognition. Okay, it could be a human recognition when a human walks into a store. Okay, so for example, so I have a retail store. When a human walks into the store, the machine understands who's this person. If this is John Smith. Who's John Smith? My customer. It greets them. It greets them. So building applications around facial recognition. Okay, understand the facial recognition. Understand the human recognition. Understand the objects. Okay, what object it is. So those type of applications comes under computer vision. Okay, so in all 5 cases, the machine has to be trained. The machine is going to learn. So this is like you are studying different subjects. What subject you are studying in school? You can study math, English, physics, chemistry, etc. In the same way, the machine also studies all the different subjects and solves a problem. When you study math, what happens? So you study 2 plus 2, 4, 4 plus 4, 8, 8 plus 8, 16, 16 plus 16, 32. You study the math. So when I give an example, when I give a test, you will take the test. So now I'm giving you 3 plus 3, 6, 6 plus 6. Okay, so 6 plus 12, and 12 plus 24. Like this, I'm giving a test. You are passing the test. So how did you pass the test? Because you studied math. I taught you. What did I taught you? I told you about 2 plus 2. You said 4. Okay, I told you 4. 4 plus 4, 8. 8 plus 8, 16. Correct? Now I'm asking you a question. What is 3 plus 3? It is 6. What is 6 plus 6? It's 12. What is 12 plus 12? It's 24. Correct? Like this, you are coming up with learning. Okay, you're learning and you're trying to respond to me. So that is basically a training process that lead towards gaining knowledge and solving problem. In the same way, the machine also learns about a vision. What is the vision? Either it could be an image, or it could be an object, or it could be human, etc. So if you are teaching a machine about understanding of images, videos, etc., those are all computer vision. Those are all computer vision. Next is natural language processing. So under natural language processing, you are teaching a machine to understand a language. The language could be spoken, the language could be written. So for example, 2 weeks back, I was actually teaching for a group of faculties. Okay, so it was in a program initiated by the government back in India. So I had around 250 participants attended. And also, it was on a live on the YouTube. There was overall about 400 participants attended. So the program was very successful, and it was done for a net state. The language was Telugu. I don't speak that language, but that's the language that they're doing.
Hello?
Yes.
Oh yeah. When is the lunch break, Uncle?
I think we will keep it at 12:45. Is that okay? Are you hungry now?
No, I just kind of have to go soon to eat lunch, but yeah, that's it.
Okay, all right. So, let me know if you're hungry. So.
Yeah, 12:45 would be fine.
Okay, so all right, no problem.
How long is the break?
60 minutes.
An hour?
Yes.
Okay, thank you, Uncle.
Yeah, so you can eat well.
Oh yeah.
But don't sleep, okay? So what I was talking about actually, I was talking about natural language processing. So I thought the program was very successful. So this came in a local newspaper in an article. So the professor sent me this article to me, and I was not sure how to read this one because that's not my language. I've never trained to read that language. So then I went to Google. Okay, I put this one, and then I got back the English translation of that. Okay, so I'm just saying, see how technology has been helping me to understand and learn a language. So the point what I'm trying to make you understand, if you want to teach the machine, so the machine can understand about the language, then it's natural language processing, both written and spoken, both written and spoken. So it has to build conversations. It has to build conversation. So that is natural language processing. Okay, natural language processing. Under computer vision, the machine learns about images, videos, objects, etc. Correct? So this is basically the best way to understand. You take a self-driving car. When a car is going on a street, the car understands the object in front of the car. It could be a human, it could be another car, it could be an animal. It understands that. At the same time, when a car drives on the street, it understands the red light, it understands the green light, it understands the yellow light, and it takes an action based on that. And these are all falls under computer vision. Okay, these are all falls under computer vision, such as image recognition, facial recognition, object recognition, human recognition. So these applications falls under computer vision. The point to understand, so here under computer vision, you are teaching the machine to understand about a human, about an object, about an image. Okay, that is what it understands. The next is natural language processing. Under natural language processing, what the machine is learning, it learns about the actual language that is spoken and written. So examples, when you go to banking center, okay, I'm not talking about the robots. So you can have conversation-based customer engagements. So that is one of my projects, okay? So how do I interact with customer? How do I engage the customer? And how do I speak to the customer? Both written as well as a verbal, okay? So that is natural language processing. So what I'm talking about teaching a machine so that the machine can learn and understand about languages and building application around that, natural language processing. The best example, if you look at your cell phone, your Apple cell phone, when you type a text, the words are underlying, the words underneath is like what you're typing, it brings a word on the context. So what is it called? Language modeling. What is it called? Language modeling. So it uses techniques such as language modeling, word classification, sentence classification. So those are the things what it does under natural language processing. So the next one is robotic process automation. All right, it's time to talk about food. I know you're all hungry, so let's talk about it. Before I talk, I need one or two volunteers who can tell what is your understanding about robotic process automation. I think someone told they have heard about some of these terms. Okay, so what I'm hearing from you, you can use best example, sandwich making. There's a connection between robotic process automation, sandwich making. Okay, so who can answer this question? So what I need from you, have you heard about robotic process automation? If such, give me an example, use sandwich making. All right, let's bring the audience, please.
I have heard of robotic process automation.
Okay.
So have you heard of Rotimatic?
Yes.
So I think robotic process automation is something like that, like how it makes rotis.
Okay, can you use sandwich making as an example? Do you know what sandwich making means?
Yes, you make a sandwich.
Okay, can you give me what's your favorite sandwich?
Probably a chicken sandwich.
Okay, where did you get the chicken sandwich? Like in a place like Togo's, place like a Subway, place like Firehouse Subs, like a Jesse Mike. Where did you get the sandwich?
Subway.
Okay, do you know how did they make the sandwich? Can you explain?
First they they ask you what's your favorite bread, and then you can put it in a toaster if you'd like to, and then they ask you what you would like on the sandwich.
Okay, awesome, awesome. All right, so like what is the connection between robotic process automation and sandwich making?
So a robot can automate the process of making a sandwich, so it doesn't take any input from you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. So you kind of put all the dots together we need someone to connect this one. Thank you, Aditya. First of all, I like your encouragement. Like, you are very energetic. You just stepping in and talking. I really love that one. Thank you, though.
Mhm.
All right. So, anybody else?
Yeah.
Who's this?
So, Audit.
Okay.
Should I go or should I give another?
Go ahead.
Okay.
I wanted to speak. Go ahead.
Okay, so I heard of robotic process automation, and I think that like if we combine robotic process automation with like AI, it means that robots learn by doing something like sandwich making or cooking rice or something else. So when they're doing it, like it's kind of like training,
okay,
right? If we see our moms making something, then we watch them and then we learn and then we do it, right? So similar to that, robotic process automation is very similar to that. Like it's
excellent. Yeah. Cool. All right. So the reason I asked you to speak about it, I wanted to think about like more of a process. Okay. So for example, when Aditya said that he went to Subway and got a sandwich, okay. So how did that took place? So he said that they asked what kind of bread you like, white, wheat, sourdough, etc. Oh, I like white bread. I'll go with that. What size? Foot long. Okay. So small size, regular size, and large size. Okay, I want a regular size. All right. So I got to you told me what bread you want. You told me what size you want. Do you want this to be toasted? Yes, I want this toasted. Do you want with all the things or just the bread by itself? No, I want everything and then toast this one. All right. What meat do you want? I want turkey. Okay. And what cheese do you want? I want an American cheese. All right. And what kind of produce do you need? I need tomatoes, onions, pickles, like and all the vegetables that I wanted. So you see here, I have to make a sequence of decisions. Okay. So I have to ask sequence of question, a sequence of decision. First question, white bread. I took the white bread. Size, regular. Took the size. Toast, not the just bread, the whole sandwich need to be toasted. What cheese? American cheese. What meat? Turkey. Okay. And what vegetables do you want? I want lettuce, tomatoes, onions, pickles, and do you need pepper and mayonnaise and mustard and etc. So you see this one, there's a sequence of question I'm asking, the decision has been made. If you want to teach a machine, the machine can understand an end-to-end process and does this job for you, and that is called robotic process automation. That is called robotic process automation. Under robotic process automation, the machine learns about a business process. The machine learns about a process, not necessarily a business process, learns about a process and builds the automation. Builds the automation. And that is basically what is robotic process automation. All right. In robotic process automation, it's a common question anybody can answer. Do you think you need a robot? In robotic process automation, do you think you need an actual robot? So what I'm talking, do you need something like this? Okay. In a robotic process automation, do you need something like this? Yes or no? Can someone tell? In robotic process automation, do you need something like this? Yes or no, please? Okay, can someone answer? Can you bring Kaushal?
Yeah, I'm selecting people.
Okay, okay. We can't hear you.
I think that in robotic process automation, you don't need a robot to necessarily be there.
What's your name, boss? Boss, what's your
Sai?
name? Sai, where are you from, Sai?
I'm from Dublin, in the Bay Area.
What's the best Indian restaurant out there?
I'm not entirely sure. Like Paradise, maybe. That's really good.
Do you like the food?
Yeah.
Okay, awesome, good. So let's go for it. Like, why do you think we don't need a robot here?
Because as you said before, it could be like any task that like a human might perform, such as like making a sandwich. But that could also be analyzing data.
Okay, excellent. So in the case of sandwich making, let's say like we want to automate the sandwich making process. How can I do if there's no robot? Okay, so we all understand, the whole class understand how to make a sandwich, correct?
Mm-hmm.
We may not be a perfect sandwich maker, but I think we know how to do this. Okay, so we need bread, we need the meat, we need the cheese, we need the vegetables. So with that, we can do something.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so now I want to use artificial intelligence to build. So this question, okay, I can tell you, even industry people can't answer this question, okay? Even industry people can't think and answer this question because that is the state we are in, okay? That is the state we are in. Not a lot of people understood how this is going to work, okay? So they all think tools like UiPath, Automation Anywhere, these are all things that's going to be the robotic process automation. Answer is no. Answer is no, correct? It is not that. So those are all mostly instruction driven. Mostly what you see in front of you, mostly instruction driven. That's nothing to do with artificial intelligence, correct? So if we want to build a true scale artificial intelligence to make sandwiches, correct? You are saying no robots. I'm saying then how can we do this? Then how can we do this?
I mean, in the case of making a sandwich, a robot would be required to actually move.
I'm telling you, my friend, no need. We no need robots. That's just like, you know, too much. We don't need that. Without that, without robot, how can we make the sandwich? So that is basically what is an intelligent automation. You make the sandwich machine in the future. Take my word, in the future, there will be a machine which will make a sandwich for you. Okay? It don't have to be. And that is what the true innovation. And that is where industry is going right now. And that is why we have so much opportunity in front of you. In the future, what will happen? Right now you have a vending machine, correct? Do you know what's a vending machine?
Yeah.
So what can we do with that?
You could like put in whatever you want, put in the amount of money needed to buy whatever. And
exactly. So typically you buy Coke, you buy a bottle of drinks. That's pre-made. That is pre-made, correct? It's already pre-made and put it there. You put money. There's no human. You put the coins and press the button. You get the Coke or whatever you want. You take it and move on. So in the future, okay, what is going to happen? There will be machines which is designed exclusively for making sandwiches. That is called intelligent automation. And that is why I told, artificial intelligence is not like a software programmer. It is not like, you know, Python code. Okay, it is not Python code. It is not sitting and writing programs. It goes beyond. It goes beyond. In the future, we will design a machine which will make sandwich for you, fresh sandwich. Okay, fresh sandwich without a human. You just put a button, like you said, in a vending machine. You go and choose what you want. Diet Coke. How much? $2. How many you're giving? I'm using my credit card. A transaction completes and gives you back the Diet Coke. In same way, so there will be an intelligent automation in industrial level. In an industrial level, there will be machines built on making sandwiches. So what does that mean? Instead of having people standing in a subway or people standing in a Togo store, you will see machines there. Okay, that machine not necessarily robot. It could be an industrial machine. An industrial machine which has all the capability to make a sandwich. Okay, and that is where it's going. That is where it's going. Like self-driving car. A car functions by itself. We all thought that car means we need a driver. We are thinking that sandwich means we need a human. We don't need a human. We can get to a point. We can make industrial equipment. Those equipment will make sandwiches for you. In that equipment, it's not pre-packed. In the vending machine, it's a pre-packed. In the sandwich machine, it makes a fresh sandwich for you. It takes the bread, it cuts the bread, it puts everything and gives it to you as a fresh sandwich. And that is what an intelligent automation. No human, no manual intervention. So automating such complex processes, it's what called robotic process automation. You teach a machine, the machine can understand how to perform a sequence of tasks, okay? And what to ask, how to perform, and what decision it has to make. All these things are part of robotic process automation. Let's summarize. So how do we teach the machine? Or what is that we are going to teach the machine? If you are teaching the machine to understand about an image, about a video, about an object, about a human, etc. So those are all falls under computer vision. So under computer vision, the machine learns about images, videos, objects, and any pictures, etc. So using that, you can build applications around facial recognition, human recognition, object detection, gender detection, etc. So these are all part of computer vision. Natural language processing. Under natural language processing, you are teaching the machine to understand languages, both spoken and written dialogue. Both spoken and written dialogue. Okay, so spoken dialogue and written letters. So it learns and understands that. And it builds the conversation with you. So what can we do with this? Okay, so what can we do this one? A customer engagement model. When you go to a store, the robot or the machine stands in front of you. It builds the conversation. It acts like another human. It starts taking your order, making recommendations, etc. So that is basically natural language processing. The next one is robotic process automation. What is this task? The robotic process automation basically allows you to perform a sequence of tasks. So under robotic process automation, the machine learns a sequence of tasks to be performed to achieve something. So the best example, sandwich making. How do we make a sandwich? I need a bread. All right, what is next? I need a cheese. What is next? I need the meat. What is next? I need the vegetables. What is next? I need salt. I need pepper. Like this, there are a sequence of things. Okay? So it starts from bread and mayonnaise and mustard, and then cheese, and then meat, and then vegetables, and salt and pepper. So this sequence of tasks someone need to perform. If we want to teach the machine to learn the same thing, what this task to be performed, that's basically a robotic process automation. So there are tools out there such as UiPath, Blue Prism, Automation Anywhere. In some form, it does, but it's not a full-scale robotic process automation. That's a big deal. That is a big deal. Out of all the real need for industry, building robotic process automation, automation of processes, as I said, in the future, what you see, you may not see a robot in a Togo store or in a Subway store or in any sandwich places. You see a machine, like a vending machine, a sandwich making machine is there. And that machine will make a fresh sandwich for you without any human. Those are all part of robotic process automation, which is a deep automation of intelligence, okay? All right. So what I really wanted to do, I wanted to think through and come up with your own way of, under deep learning, what is the machine learns? Under supervised, unsupervised reinforcement, what is the machine learns? So here, the machine learns about image, the machine learns about an object, the machine learns about a human, the machine learns about a video. Here, the machine learns about a language, both spoken and written. Here, the machine learns about a process. So I'm asking you, what is that the machine learns under supervised, unsupervised reinforcement? What is that machine learns under deep learning? Okay, so think about it. You come back and let me know. All right, I know you all hungry. Okay, me too. I've been talking since almost last 1.5 hours. Okay, so we all will take a break. We'll come back. I hope so far you're able to understand. Before I stop here, do you have any questions so far what we covered? So like I said, my goal is not to make you an expert, but my goal is to make you very clear on what we discussed today. Okay, it should be very clear. Any questions? No questions? I know you're all hungry. All right, please eat well, don't sleep, drink a lot of water, wash your hands, take care. I'll see you soon. Bye.
So we'll see at 1:45 PST, right?
Ramesh, your voice is cracking. Yeah, we will meet at so 12:45, 1:45 we'll meet.
Okay.
All right.
Understand. So what is the machine learns under these things, correct? So we wanted to understand this one. So this is a summary of what I discussed with you. What I talked about, what's machine learning, deep learning, computer vision, natural language processing, what exactly it does, what kind of problem it solves, and what are some of the examples, and etc. Okay, what model it selects. Okay, so this is something that I will give it to you. You can ready, you can study, and then you can learn. You can take it from here. But this is just a summary of so far what we discussed. Okay, this is just a summary of what we discussed. Move on. So the next topic, how does the change occurs? Okay, what is that artificial intelligence going to change us? How is it going to change us? Right? It's really important. So I don't think a lot of us understood. Correct? A lot of us understood. For example, when I ask in the morning, I'm sitting in the car. Correct? I'm sitting in a self-driving car. Now the car is met in an accident. Who's liable? Am I liable? Okay, am I liable? I'm not driving the car. I'm not touching the car. Correct? I'm just sitting in the car. Who's liable? We don't know that. We don't know that. Correct? So these are all policy level questions. We don't have an answer. Like this, there will be many changes that are going to come in. Obviously, we cannot, go on learn all the changes that happens in artificial intelligence world, but we have to understand some basics so that we know where we are, heading towards. So this is talks about the changes that going to happen in the world of artificial intelligence when this become mainstream. Okay, when this become mainstream, that means artificial intelligence is going to be everywhere. If that happens, what kind of changes we are talking about and how that's going to impact. I just picked 2 examples. How it is going to change the education. Second, how it's going to change software engineering. Okay, how the artificial intelligence it's going to change the education, how it is going to change the software engineering. Okay, all right. Let's start from an example of education. I'm just going to go from here. In this slide, I'll come back to that slide later. So what we do in our current education system, we have a teacher. So the teacher is teaching to our students. So what the students are doing, the students have become a human intelligence. Okay, the students have become human intelligence. So what does this mean? So the human is the one going to solve these problems. What kind of problem? Reading, writing, cooking, driving, correct? Disease diagnosis. So these kind of problem, the students are the one going to solve in the current world. Okay, in the current world. Okay, in the current world, in the current education system, what do we do in our current educational system? So we teach students to become a human intelligence. There's a teacher teaching the students, they become human intelligence. Okay, so what exactly this human intelligence are doing? So here we talked at the beginning, it could be reading, it could be writing, it could be speaking, it could be problem solving, decision making, or it could be a disease diagnosis, etc. It could be anything. So that is what human intelligence. That is what human intelligence. Understand, in the current education system, we create human intelligence. So what we need in the world of artificial intelligence, okay? In the world of artificial intelligence, in the world of AI, what we need to change in our education system. So a teacher teaches the students to become human intelligence. That's a tradition. Instead of you become a human intelligence, you create intelligent artificially. This is a fundamental change. Okay, so this is a fundamental change in our education system. So far, it doesn't matter what you study. Okay, it doesn't matter what you study. Here you can study English. Here you can study physics. You can study math, or you can study history. Whatever you study. So those are all your intelligence. Those are all your intelligence. And that intelligence is what? Human intelligence. So that's why you see there are different diagrams here. There is a scientist or an engineer or a doctor or a physician, correct? Or a lawyer. So all these are all different intelligence. All these are all different intelligence. So these intelligence, what we are looking at is the human intelligence. And that is what you learn from the class. That's what you learn from the education system. So that's what you learn from the school. So now we are saying, okay, we are saying, we don't need to teach students to become a human intelligence. Instead of, we need to teach students to become creating intelligence artificially. The students will work towards creating intelligence artificially. So that is a fundamental change. That is a fundamental change. So we should teach students to create intelligence artificially instead of the students become a human intelligence. That is what industry is looking for. That is what a change in our education system. I hope you all understand what our education system is going to do in the future. Okay, in the future, you don't have to create students. You don't have to teach students to become a human intelligence. Instead, you can teach the students to become like an intelligence of creating artificially. Correct. So you should know enough skills and expertise to create intelligence artificially. That is what is needed. So what does this mean to us? A new curriculum, new learning material, a global learning experience. A new curriculum, new learning material, and a global learning experience. What exactly that means? So traditionally what we learn software engineering, we learn database systems, we learn data structure, we learn programming. I'm not saying no to this, you still need that one, but you may not be able to perform these tasks. You may not be able to perform these tasks. So now you have to learn something new. That is what the new curriculum. To learn a curriculum, you need a learning material. And this learning could be anywhere in the world. You don't have to be like in a specific location. Someone from here to teach India, and someone in India can teach for here. So the learning is going to be very global. Okay, learning is going to be global. Second, the actual education is going to be driven based on an intellectual content. Okay, intellectual content. So it's going to be in a digital form. Next, there is no need for a physical buildings, correct? Like, for example, so now if you see the COVID-19, so that enabled us to work in a remote. And how do you connect people?
digital. Okay, so what does this mean? You don't need a big office. You don't have to go to an office, right? You don't have to go to an office. You can work wherever you are in. You can work from wherever you are in. So that's why there's no physical buildings or anything required. And education is going to be personalized. What does personalized means? So as I told you in the beginning of the class, so when we have 100 students in a class, all 100 students are treated at the same level. That means same questions, same assignment, same curriculum. But each student have a different way of learning. Each student have a different way of solving a problem. Each student's learning ability is different. How do you personalize? So that is basically a personalized learning, correct? So these are some of the changes what you see in education system. I really want you to understand, okay? I really want you to understand 2 points. In current education system, we teach students, the students become a human intelligence. The students become a human intelligence. In the world of artificial intelligence, you don't need to teach students, like, you don't need to teach the students they become an artificial intelligence. Instead, you teach the students, they can create intelligent artificially. They can create intelligent artificially. Instead of they become a human. And that is basically what is required. That is basically what is required. Instead of making students as a human intelligence, you tell student to create, you teach students to create like intelligent artificially. Instead of they become an intelligent for the solving problems. Okay, they instead of they becoming intelligent to solve the problem, they wanted to come and perform this one. Okay, so this is a change in the education system. This is a change in the education system. So next, what we understand. Okay, so we want to understand software engineering. We want to understand software engineering. So I'm sure in some form, some of you may have heard about these terms. I just need someone to explain what is a programmer can do, what a developer can do, what an analyst can do. Can anyone tell, please? So what we talked about, how education is going to change. Okay, so whatever we are studying, that's going to change. Fundamentally, it is going to change. We talked about it. Why? The current education system teaches you to become a human intelligence. But what we need, instead of you become a human intelligence, you create intelligence artificially. What it means, you teach a machine. Okay, so the teacher has to teach so that the students can understand how the students can go and teach a machine, how the students can go and solve this problem using machines instead of they as a human intelligence. In that context, we talked about education. Now we are talking about software engineering. So I just wanted to know, can anyone, okay, tell me what is your understanding about a programmer, developer, analyst, software engineer? Anyone, please? Okay, Nitya, raise the hand. Can you bring Nitya? Nitya. Kaushal, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay. Yes, go ahead.
My name is Nikhil. I'm going to 7th grade and I'm interested in AI because a lot of the future is gonna be like that.
Okay, awesome. So then you're in the right place. So can you tell, if you heard all these terms, what does this means to you, and what people do typically in these kind of jobs?
So a programmer is a person who programs machines and things so they can do what the program is supposed to do.
Okay.
Developer is like a person who develops something, like it could be a language, a game.
Sure, sure.
And
what you're saying, not necessarily a program. It could be something relevant to software engineering. It could be creating a document, or it could be creating some data or whatever. It not necessarily writing program. A developer could be someone who does many things, including program. Okay. Who's an analyst?
An analyst is someone who analyzes things. So like they kind of have some information together to find information about something.
Okay, wonderful. Let's bring the other person. Thank you very much. Let's bring the other person. Can someone explain software engineering QA testing?
if you happen to hear about this one? Can someone explain to me software engineering, pure test engineering?
I can explain.
Yes, who's this? Who's this?
Audit.
Audit, how was your lunch?
It was good.
What did you eat?
I ate panprasadam and potato.
Okay. All right. That's good. That's good. Don't sleep, okay?
Okay. So if you look at a device, there's two things. There's a hardware, which is like the phone itself, and there's the inside like apps like YouTube and stuff like that.
Excellent. Excellent.
Both of them are interlinked with each other. So without the phone and YouTube, you can't watch it, and without the phone, without the apps, you can't do anything. So software is the apps part of this thing.
Okay, great. Awesome, wonderful. That's fine. Okay, so anyone tell about the next one? Quality and systems and engineering. Can anyone tell about the last point? Like, what do you know about QA, testing, engineering, extra?
My name is Shanmukh. I'm from Fremont, and I'm going to 10th grade.
Okay, so how was your lunch, Shanmukh?
Good.
What did you eat?
Like tomato rice or something like that.
You liked it?
Yeah, it was good.
Okay, so is that your preference?
Not really. My mom just made it the other day, so yeah, it's like
All right.
leftovers.
What's your favorite food?
I don't know.
You don't know? Come on. You don't have any favorite food?
Like maybe In-N-Out or something.
Okay, so you like In-N-Out burgers?
Yeah.
Awesome. All right, go for it.
A QA test engineer is like someone who like tests like the software before like it launches, right? Or something like that.
Okay, excellent. So what you're saying actually, before you send it to somebody or before you make it to public to use or before you make it to production, you make sure actually test and verify everything works the way it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
Correct? That's what you're saying, correct?
Yeah.
So what is these are all? Can anyone tell, please? So can you tell what is these are all? So these are all different jobs, different type of job people do in software engineering. Correct? Like, you see programmer, you see developer, you see analyst, you see software engineer who can create an automation, and you see quality assurance and testing. People test and make sure everything works fine, nothing went wrong, it functions as it designed. Correct? So these are the different things that people do in software engineering. This whole thing will change. Okay, this whole thing will change. Why? Let's understand that part. So that is why it says, okay, our education will change. That is where everything starts. Okay, instead of teaching student to become a programmer, you teach the student so that the students can go and teach the machine programs for you. Okay, the machine programs for you. So traditionally what we do, we teach students to become a programmer. That means the students can learn, understand Python, understand C, understand C++, understand Java, understand Scala, and the students start developing programs, coding this one. So now what we are saying, you don't have to be a programmer. You don't have to go and code. Instead of you, now the machine can code for you. How does the machine can code for you? You teach the machine. Okay, you teach the machine. So that's basically a change in the education system. The education system currently makes the students become a human intelligence. Instead, the education system is supposed to teach the students. The student can go and train the machine and build software, build applications, etc. Okay, all right. In the context of software engineering, you may have heard about these titles. These are all job titles. Okay, so what I'm looking for, a programmer, that's a job title. A developer, that's a job title. Software engineer, that's a job title. So this is someone's job function, what they do. All right. So now let's understand. When you go on look for these companies, correct? I'm not saying only these companies, correct? I'm just saying majority of the companies that what you look at in the software industry. So what people do, they take a problem, they try to solve the problem. So to solve the problem, they create a functional spec, then the technical spec, they code, they test, deploy, and monitor, etc. Okay, all these jobs, it does something of that kind. Okay, something of that kind. So that is what the point is. These jobs that what we are looking at here, It does all this function. Okay, they take a problem. For the problem, they create a functional spec, technical spec, code, test, deploy, and then monitor and continue to enhance as needed. So what is the problem of doing this one? What is the problem of doing this one? So this is a hard-coded instruction. Hard-coded instruction. That means do this and do that. If this, do this. If it is not, don't do this. Correct? So you build application, you build analytics, you build data analysis by using this one. There are 2 points for you to consider. In the traditional software engineering, we have hard-coded business rules. That makes life very difficult. And second, it is not self-learning. Okay, it is not self-learning. Can anyone tell what is self-learning? I'm sure you all know. You go to school, the teacher teaches you, you learn and understand. Okay, that is a learning pattern that someone goes through. You go to school, you sit down in the class, you learn math, you learn science, you learn physics, whatever. Then you become an expert. So how are you learning? You are learning from a teacher. The teacher is teaching. The teacher is teaching, you're learning from that. So now what I'm saying here, our current software engineering, either your mom or dad, or who are in the software industry, correct? If they're working in information technology, they are all doing something of this kind. Either they do functional spec, technical spec, code, test, deploy, monitor, support, whatever it is. I'm very sure they fall under any one of this function. So these functions I'm saying, it's inefficient, it's hard-coded. Second, I'm saying it is not self-learning. So I need 1 or 2 volunteers. Who can tell what is self-learning means? What is self-learning means from your point of view? Can someone respond, please? From your point of view, can someone tell what is self-learning? Yes, please, go ahead.
I can. Self-learning is like
can you
learning
tell
yourself.
Your boss, can you tell your name and
oh yes, my name is Kannan Ramakrishnan.
Okay.
I am currently going to 8th grade.
Okay.
And I live in California.
So California is a state or a place?
A state.
Okay, so what place you are living?
Milpitas.
Milpitas, okay, wonderful. So what did you eat for lunch?
I ate some eggs and rice.
Okay, nice. You liked it?
Yes, it was wonderful.
Awesome, man. That's awesome. That's what I want to hear from you. Awesome. Go for it.
Yes, so self-learning is like learning something yourself. Like, for example,
Excellent.
If you're trying to learn art, but you don't know how to, some people self-learn themselves by seeing other people do it, and then they try to
Excellent.
What self-learning is.
Excellent. So the current software engineering that what we follow so far, okay? I myself was a software engineer. I myself was a programmer, correct? I worked in all different roles. There are 2 problems that we have in our current software engineering. So number 1, it's all hard-coded business rules. Number 2, it's not self-learning. It's not self-learning. So what does it mean? When a change occurs, it takes enormous time to make that change. It is not that easy. So these are the 2 driving factors. Look for an alternate. Look for an alternate, okay? One is we don't want hard code. Second, we want to make it self-learning. We want to make it self-learning. When a change occurs, I don't have to do anything. The machine learns and understands and tells me what the change is, and it does programmatically. Okay, it does programmatically. So this is the current software engineering world. Okay, as a current software engineer, when you go and work for organizations, what you do, you take a problem. You want to solve the problem. To solve the problem, you create a functional spec, then the technical spec, then code, then test, then deploy, then continue to monitor and enhance as needed. All these steps, what you are doing, it is inefficient. Why it is inefficient? It's too much hard-coded rule, and it is not self-learning. These to make a change to the software, to make this change to the application, it's very complex. Okay, it is very complex. So what will happen in the world of artificial intelligence? Nothing required. I'm not in a need for a functional spec. I'm not in a need for a technical spec. I'm not needing for a code this one. I'm not in a need to test something, right? These are all done in a different way. Deploy. So when I say not test, physically sitting and testing something, okay? As a human, you're sitting and testing. That is not required. As a human, you're deploying code and doing all these things. That's not required. Okay? So completely changed. So what it means, instead of writing a functional spec, you talk about feature engineering. Instead of writing a technical spec, you do model engineering, right? So like this, there's a lot of different things you do, okay? There's a lot of different things you do. So you don't have to go deeper into this one, but I want you to understand, okay? How does it's going to change? In a simple English, all the tasks that what we are doing here, functional design, technical design, code, test, deploy, all done by human intelligence. That will be replaced by machine intelligence, okay? In the world of artificial intelligence, we don't need any of these things. It works in a different way, okay? It doesn't mean that we are going to lose your jobs, but it could be different things you'll be doing. It could be different things you'll be doing. So when this become mainstream, okay, when this become mainstream, that means people are going to use artificial intelligence approach to build software, build application. If that happens, we don't need all those things. Whatever we see on the left-hand side, those things are not required. The one in the green is the one that's going to happen, okay? Why? I'm not hard coding any rules, okay? I'm not hard coding any business rules. And it is self-learning. That means the machine learns by itself. You don't have to worry about anything. When there's something change happens, okay? When something change happens, the machine learns by itself. How do we prove this? Okay, how do we prove this? So this is just I'm repeating what I told you. All these different job functions, functional spec, technical spec, etc., which is basically from these people. Okay, which is basically from these people, either a programmer or a developer or an analyst or a software engineer or a QA person. Any one of them will be doing any of these jobs. Okay, those jobs will be completely replaced or done by in a different way. Okay, or done by in a different way. So that's what it is. So what I'm trying to say, so we talked about hardcore rules and inefficient and etc. Correct? How do we prove this? How do we prove this one? All right, let's understand that one. So I need 1 or 2 volunteers. Who can tell me what is this all about? Okay, what is this all about? The one on the left-hand side. Okay, so who can tell me the one on the left-hand side? What is this? Can anyone tell, please? Yes, I have 2 participants raise their hands. Let's bring them online, please.
That is SQL.
Wonderful. What does SQL stands for?
Oh, I forgot. It's something query language.
Excellent. Excellent. Excellent.
I forgot the first letter.
Yes. Structured query language.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. Structured query language.
Okay. Anybody else? Can anyone tell what does it stands for? Can anyone tell what does it stands for? Anybody else? No one? Come on.
Hello?
Yes, yes, we can hear you.
So I know for a fact that this is a query, and it's saying that like.
What's your name? What's your name? Can you come close to the phone?
My name is Megha, and I'm from Connecticut.
Okay. All right, wonderful. How was the lunch?
It was good.
What did you eat?
I had a sandwich.
Oh my God, what kind of sandwich is that?
A cheese sandwich.
Oh, you made by yourself?
Yeah.
Cool. Nice. All right, go for it.
So I know the data shown here is an example of a query.
Uh-huh.
And I believe at the beginning, it's when it says select,
Uh-huh.
it's basically saying to choose for an example of an employee, a department, and like those are the 3 examples.
Uh-huh.
And so those 2 examples of the top and bottom are like examples of like data sets.
Sure.
And they're connected.
Okay.
And
all right.
I was gonna say.
Yes, yes, yes. No, I got what you're saying actually. I want to appreciate the effort that what you're putting forward to explain this one. Actually, it's great. It's great. Thank you. So, all right, somebody else raised the question, hand actually. Can you bring them online? Aditya, Mr. Rajnikant.
I just wanted to add on.
Yes, Mr. Rajnikant, go for it.
So in query language is like there's data and it's in tables. So you would have table name. I mean, you would have column names like employee, department, sal, grade.
Okay. Okay.
And underneath those tables. I mean,
okay.
In the column, there's details like an employee, there might be a name, there might be a list of names of employees.
Sure, sure.
Department, there might be what department they work at, and etc. So there's also a column called country in this case. And what this is saying is that I want you to show all the employee, department, and cell grade if the country is India.
Awesome.
So it will show the employee name, what department, and I'm not sure what cell grade is, but it'll show all of that if the country is in India relative.
Awesome, awesome. So have you done any programming? Like, are you learning any programming skills?
Yes, I have.
What kind of programming you're learning?
I did Python. I'm just going, Python's my most advanced language, I know so far.
Okay, okay.
But I know, other languages, but not a lot,
Awesome. I can sense based on your response, how much you are involved in this one, actually. I appreciate that. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, so you explained very well. SAL stands for salary, okay? It's a short form. So SAL stands for salary, okay? So ladies and gentlemen, understand. The one that what you're looking at on the left-hand side, that's a traditional way of doing. Either your father or mother or sister or brother, if they're in software industry, ask them. Ask them. So if they have to get data from a database or a table, what they do, they go ahead and write a structured statement, like a structured query language statements, like a SQL statements. So what is the problem that we are trying to solve? List all the employees who's getting the same salary grade in a department by department for the country of India. Okay, for the country of India. So that is what the problem statement. List the employees who are in the same salary grade, okay? So who's living in India, okay? So let's say, how do you want to get this result? In the traditional software engineering, we write a SQL statement, okay? We write a SQL statement. In the world of artificial intelligence, I don't write SQL statement. I use statistical modeling technique, okay? I use statistical modeling techniques. So what kind of statistical modeling I may be using? I may be using K-mean clustering. I may be using KNNs. So these are all different algorithms. It does the same thing. What it does, it finds the similarity in data set. It groups them, forms a cluster. It forms an association. Okay, it forms an association. It forms a cluster and association. You see the problem here? So I hard-coded the country equal to India. Okay, I hard-coded the country equal to India. So if country India changes to UK, if country India changes to United States, if country India changes to some other country like German, in that case, I have to go back and change this one. So that is what hard-coded. When people say hard-coded, what exactly it means? It means inside your software program, you hard-code these things. And this is not self-learning. What is self-learning means? I don't want to change, I don't want country India. I want to change country to United States. I want to change country to UK. If that is the case, what happened? I have to make changes to this program. That is the case, then I have to retest, I have to redeploy, etc., etc. So that is very inefficient. That is hard-coded. We want to avoid this one. How do we avoid this one? That is when we go for an AI-based approach. In the AI-based approach, I don't write SQL statement. I use something like K-means clustering kind of a model. Okay, so under this model, what the machine it does, it learns a change occurs. When the country comes as a UK, it groups them together. When the country comes as India, it groups them together. When the country comes like other countries like Singapore, it groups them together. So based on what it sees the data, it self-learns. Based on what it sees in the data, it self-learns by itself. There is no hard-coded rule. There is no hard-coded rule. So this is more efficient. This is more efficient. I really want you to understand. Okay, I really want you to understand. In the traditional software engineering, okay, if I have to get data from a database, so what do? I do a simple select statement. In both the cases, you see the underlying data, someone told, it's same. Okay, you see there's an employee, you see there's a salary, you see there's a department. So how do we get the data out of this one? In a traditional software engineering, you write SQL statement, you basically hard code the rules. In the world of artificial intelligence, you use statistical modeling, such as K-mean clustering
and k-nearest neighbor. It does the same thing. It forms a cluster, it identifies the data which has the similarities, which has an association, and brings them together and gives feedback. Okay, it gives feedback. So this is not that easy for us to do. Correct? It's going to take some time. It's going to take some time. But bottom line, what it is, in a traditional software engineering, all the rules are hard-coded. All the rules are built in such a way it's very inefficient. In case of changes, it is not going to self-learn. You have to go back and make a change to the program. In the world of artificial intelligence, no hard-coded, no reason for us to do anything to implement a new change. So the change is going to happen automatically. The machine learns and then learns from there. So whenever there's a change occurred, then what is a change? I don't want country India. I want country UK. In that case, whenever the data comes with country UK, the machine learns and understands, now there's a new country, it forms a new cluster, it forms a new association based on how it's been trained and tuned. So, okay. So the fundamental difference in this case, what I'm talking about, no hard-coded rules and no way of going back and looking at what it is and making a change in the software program. So the change in the software program, it's kind of self-learning. When the change occurs, it learns by itself. And I don't hard-code anything. Everything learns from the data. Everything learns from the data. In both the cases, in a traditional approach, in the AI approach, we use the same data. In the traditional approach, it's a hard-coded, it's inefficient. In the new way, it is self-learning, no hard-coded. Is this clear? Do you all understand where we are heading towards and how the software industry changes? So in summary, what I'm trying to say, these roles, okay, these roles, programmer, developer, analyst, software engineer, QA, test engineer, etc. I'm not just saying only these 5 roles, okay? So these roles may or may not exist in the future. It could be different functions doing. It could be different functions we do. So what does this mean? In a traditional way, correct? In a traditional way, we write function spec, technical spec, code, test, deploy, monitor. So that is not required. Instead of you do as a human, you teach the machine, let the machine do the same thing for you instead of you doing this one. So how do we do that? Just one example. In the traditional way, I write a SQL statement to get data from a database and for a specific country. In the world of artificial intelligence, I don't hard code anything. Instead hard coding, I'm using modeling tools, modeling techniques. In this case, simple example for you to understand, I'm using K-means clustering, KNN. Any questions? Do you guys understand how the changes are taking place in the software engineering? Do you understand? All right, so there's a question. What's your question?
Yeah, so you said that we're moving to AI-based solution or AI.
Yes, sir.
So are there any problems where we wouldn't want to use AI-based solution? That you can think of?
So that is basically not in your hand or in my hand. It's a driving factor, okay? So for example, why did you eat lunch?
Why did I eat lunch? To fuel myself?
Yes, so live yourself, you're hungry, correct? So that is what driving factor. That's what drives you to eat lunch, correct? Yeah. Same way, why does someone want to use artificial intelligence? There are some driving factors, okay? Technically, can you do anything in artificial intelligence? Answer is yes. The level of automation that's going to happen in the future, that will make everything possible, okay? I'm not saying right now. As Scott said in the morning, number 1, adoption. If, let's say, there is a hospital in San Jose, it says, oh man, it's all fully robots. Everything happens completely automated, no human, no physician, nothing. You go there, there's a digital boardroom, it welcomes you, it asks you questions, why are you here, what's your symptoms, what's your warnings, it does everything automation. Are you comfortable